Well, hello, everybody. We are on episode 7 of Stirring the Potkast, and I'm here with my friend Omali.
What's up, guys?
We're going to have a great conversation today. I want to thank my producer, Devin Saxon, for hosting this episode. He always does a great job hosting, and I appreciate the fuck out of him. He's building a coffee trailer. How's that coming along today, Devin?
Well, I just got it in the driveway, so first day.
What do you mean a coffee
your
trailer?
volume,
Like a truck? Like a food truck?
Like a food truck coffee trailer.
I think your volume input might be a little high too, Bobby. You might want to tone it down like slightly.
How's that?
Just a little bit more.
How's that?
Okay. Sounds good, I think. Yeah, I think it's good now.
Cool.
Coffee truck. Interesting idea. I saw recently, gosh, I can never think of it. It's like that big gas station off of 57, JL or J. It's not the gas station, the liquor store.
Oh,
over by the interstate, like 57th and Western or something like that. JJ's. Yeah, I was at Levitt at the Falls, just at one of their free shows that they had. This dude's got a beer truck, man. So it's a refrigerated truck that is just full of kegs, and it just dispenses beer. And I'm like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's cool.
I was talking to him about it, how much money he put into it. I was like, that's crazy. But that coffee truck, that's super innovative, super awesome.
I've never seen that. Maybe it exists in other places, but I've never seen that here.
Never would have thought of the concept to put coffee on a food truck. I myself just finished writing a business plan and introduced it to a couple different people for a food truck. So,
what kind of food?
Tacos, man.
Oh, nice.
Got to go with the tacos.
There's so many different varieties.
Yeah, well, so in all the competition, what would be my competition and what you can get out here is just Hispanic, Latino, Guatemalan, your typical tacos. So trying to use my culinary background and skill set to make it more like you can have a rotating menu, but like the menu I introduced had like jerk chicken tacos.
Ooh. What would go on those?
Well, I used to work at Bros Brasserie. It's Friends and Brewery now. Okay. So I used to do a jerk chicken marinade that I have a recipe there for. So I marinate the chicken for like 48 hours, throw some mango salsa on there, some fresh cilantro. And then what I want to do as like to complete the meal, instead of doing just like rice as a side dish, tacos, rice, really easy to serve up, profitable. So it's called arancini, which is actually fried rice balls.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because like my initial food truck idea was to actually do like classical food dishes and make them into fried rice balls, like a carnival type thing. Yeah. Name it Oh My Balls, because it's funny. It's a play on word. I would have to put member chef, suck on my chocolate. Remember that? So that was all in my head. So I managed to actually make something probably hopefully realistic that can be profitable.
Sure.
And still include that in there. So then each taco will have some kind of, like I have like a honey lime sauce to go with the jerk chicken. You can get your regular taco. I think I put one on there. A Greek style one.
Oh, nice.
Which would basically be like a
gyro?
Basically like a gyro, because a gyro's a taco.
Oh, man.
Right.
A bomb-ass taco. One of my favorite tacos.
And then so when I was down in Texas, there was this food truck. They did taco fries. Right? So like just a bed of fries, like nachos, but with on a bed of fries. So just trying to introduce different fun ways for kids to kind of get involved in the idea. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to get it's about $1,500, $1,600 for licensing. So we should have that licensing by January.
That'll be cool.
Hoping to have the truck purchased and tax return time, baby.
Right?
Yeah, hoping around that time. But I mean, it's starting to shape up to be realistic in the next year. That'll be something that'll be realistic for me. Stop slaving away in restaurants for
start working for yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what it's like.
Absolutely.
It's rough, man.
Being a culinary mercenary is not the best life.
It's
what we're good at, though.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it serves me well. I love the job. That's the problem. Is like I'm just not happy working for other people, but I don't want to get out of the business.
Yeah.
At all.
I was talking to Nick McNabb, name drop. He was telling me the other day. I had a real rough day, and it was like the culmination of many rough days for weeks and months at work, where it's just been getting busier and busier, and just when you're by yourself, you can only handle so much.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a matter of
I've been in that kitchen. I know what it's like to be by yourself over there.
I'm in the big kitchen now, so I have to run over the whole.
Oh no!
And like all my stuff's in like different areas, and like there's just not room to put it all in one area. I mean, there's room, but there's set. I'm not allowed to be set up like the whole fully. Kitchen, like because they obviously have to have saute station set up for saute. I actually set up in the broil station.
Yeah, I forgot they moved you over there.
It's actually pretty awesome because I'm in the back and now I can actually listen to music and not necessarily be on presentation in front of the guest all the time. Don't get me wrong, I love the guest. That's why I make the food for, but I prefer to be in the back. Like when you're on an open kitchen, you never get that opportunity to decompress. It's like you're always on display.
I think, to be honest, that's why most of us choose to be cooks, is we don't like to deal with people. We like the business, but we're not the ones that can put on the fake smile every day, man. That's a whole different. That's a different. A tough, different part of the job is having that face to face, because sometimes you don't want to, especially when you're busy. when you're busy and you're just buried, and then you got to still turn around and smile at people, and you don't even. It's the last thing you want to do.
It's like I'm getting fucked in the butt. All right? I don't like it. This is non-consensual.
Give a fuck about your eggs right now, okay? No, they're over medium. Just man, I was working at Slim Chickens for a while.
Oh, really? I love that place, dude. They got bomb-ass tenders, and I just recently tried the sandwich. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it's really good food, but like, man, I was just... So part of me never wanting to work in fast food. Listen, when we were younger, my brother, he had this dream, right? And then, so it's my older brother, I'm the youngest, older sister. Brother, he had this dream. My sister was going to be like in the WNBA. He was going to be a doctor, and I was going to work at McDonald's.
What the fuck?
Like, I was like, as a kid, I'm like, that's such a strange fucking thing to dream about, man. Like, what are you thinking about in your daily life at like 9 years old that you're having this dream? But then, so like, it became a running joke in the family. After a while, it's like, dang, that's all you guys think I'm gonna amount to. And then, so at 32, like, got divorced at 30, moved back here after being in Texas, and I ended up working at fast food. I called my brother, I'm like, fucking hate you. I was like, I don't know if you predicted this shit, dude. This isn't cool. Because it's like, I don't know, man. It's that's a whole different beast in itself. It's so busy and fast. They want this food, and then DoorDash, like all of that kind of stuff that they throw in there. And they want this food out. Or corporate people are telling us, like, they want these... Have you seen it when it's busy, when the lines are so long, and they want these cars in and out of there in 5 minutes, and like we're getting screamed at by corporate people? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want me to
I can't make it.
There's no feasible way to make that happen.
There's no substitute for the amount of time chicken takes to cook completely.
Right? It's like, I don't understand. And then what you guys want me to do? Quit yelling at me. And then like my boss, he was like this 23-year-old young kid. He came from Minnesota. And I don't want to talk bad about him. He was a really good... I mean, he really did know what he was doing for such a young kid. But, like, we couldn't swear. Like, I couldn't swear, or, like, I couldn't ever. Like, we would get yelled. I got written up for swearing. Then just, like how we're talking now. Just, like, a general comment. Like, these motherfuckers are 17 years old, dude.
That's what you said?
Yeah, I was like, you don't think that they've ever heard a swear word in their life, man? Like, they got worse mouths than I do.
You're just not around when they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But it was, too. It's just that constant requirement. So, like, being divorced and being part-time, but I have my kid 50-50 with my ex-wife.
Right.
But, like, having that, there's zero understanding. Like, my kid was sick, dude. Come to find out he had COVID. I almost lost my job because I had to leave work.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, what do you guys expect? They're like, well, I don't have any family in town. My kid's autistic, so it's really hard to get. Most of the babysitters I do find, after a couple of times, they're like, respectfully, like, we don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, I get it. I get it. It's hard work. So it's like that lack of understanding, and that's across the board in just about any restaurant I've ever worked in. I've worked in a lot of them.
Oh yeah, Nick McNabb told me also the other day, he said, no matter how many people you work with in a restaurant that might give a shit about you, like you might have a boss and they give a shit about you, and your coworkers, they might really give a shit about you. but the restaurant business is never going to give a fuck about you, ever.
No.
We're all expendable.
All of us are. There's so many people out there that can do the job.
But the thing is, everybody wants to go out to eat, but they don't respect our positions. Like, we're all, maybe it's like if we don't like it, we just need to get better jobs. It's like, someone needs to make this food for you, and I know these fucking kids ain't doing it right. Now places are actually starting to pay people a little bit more. I got offered a prep position at $17 an hour.
Where?
The Blarney Stone?
Oh, Blarney Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember Chris Liebarger? He's like he's like the assistant. He's the assistant there. He offered me the job.
He was sous chef at Crave when I
first. I think he was banquet chef actually.
Banquet. Dustin's cousin.
Dustin's cousin. Yeah. He got like he hit me up like $16 to $17 an hour. No
That's
problem.
What I make now for just a cooking position.
Dude, yeah, he said it was like 6 to 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I assume they probably need help on the weekends and stuff like that. He's like, they just want people to come in and do the work is really what he was looking for. And I was like, dude, that's not a bad idea.
Well, that's so crazy. I think we're always on the lookout for those jobs too. You always hear about them.
Yeah,
you always hear about those opportunities.
I remember when it was like hard to get $10 an hour.
Man, I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, my first job was like $5.85 an hour, I think, or something like that.
$5.35 for me. I was a
that.
dishwasher and a busser at Fuddruckers.
Yeah, it was. Well, so I'm from Huron.
Sure.
And then so my stepdad, he was the kitchen manager at this like dingy diner in the bowling alley. Called the Plains, but it was connected to like one of the 2 hotels that you could stay in Huron. So I was 14. My mom told me I had to get a job. Shit. Okay, get a job. I don't know what are jobs.
What's a job?
So stepdad offered me a job washing dishes there, which is what I used to do. Don't post this. If you post this anywhere, like on Facebook, I have to blur this part out because my mom can't know. I used to go. She'd kill me. I used to go back into the banquet halls. 14 years old, right? And then that led into the actual banquet room where they kept all of the liquor. Yeah. So it was a goal to mix my drinks back there and just start drinking, just drunk as shit, doing dishes at 14 years old. It was bad. It's a bad kid.
Small town South Dakota, though, that doesn't surprise me. We were all drinking.
Yeah. There's nothing to do. I mean, it just kind of happens.
Fuck, I grew up in Sioux Falls, and I was drinking super early like that. No big deal.
I mean, I think it's pretty common anymore. I mean, most people, it's so much story. I mean, if you're not doing it, you're being pressured. You're being pressured to do it. I remember one time I got ballsy, and me and my friend, we mixed some black velvet in our, with vanilla Coke, walking around school, just getting drunk and shit. I had my girlfriend at the time. She's like, let me get a drink of your soda. I'm like, oh, God, no. So I was, I got a little, I usually tried to keep the 2 separate because I was like, so I was the captain of the basketball team, football team.
Sure.
But I was also behind closed doors going and getting high and going to all the parties and shit too. So like, it was living 2 different worlds.
That's pretty common, I feel like, for most high schoolers.
Dude, I could pretty much get away with a lot. I didn't even go to like 60% of my classes my senior year. But to be fair,
you were playing real good, right?
I was. We were killing it. Even when I was a freshman, so that was the only year you couldn't leave campus to go get lunch. And like, American school lunch is a joke in the first place. Like, I need more food than that. I was like damn near this size then, like I am hungrier than hungrier than 6 chicken nuggets and some crinkle fries.
Maybe 1 slice of pizza.
Yeah. And so I would always leave. And then it got to the point where Principal Nebelsack would just stand by the doors. Vanderpool. So aren't you supposed to be you're not supposed to leave. I'm like, yeah, we do this every day. I'm going to keep doing it. But I'll keep scoring points. I average, like, my freshman basketball year, I average, like, 30 points a game.
Holy shit!
Or something like that. I'm like, just don't worry.
North of 20, at least.
We're good. Well, my coach, he was...
Jimmer Fredette, baby.
Jimmer Fredette, dude. Did he have that long hair? Where did he go to school at?
Was it BYU, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was some. I wanted to. It was so gosh. He had the hair and the mustache. March Madness is dope.
Crazy, like how many of those college basketball players that either don't even go on to the NBA or like they're the craziest college player ever. You know, like I think Jimmer Fredette scored like 100 points in a game one time.
Yeah, dude, he was nuts, man. Well, and he was doing it his whole college career too, and then he didn't. I mean, just under the radar. And then that 1 year they have that deep run. He went on to play like, or he might even still be on someone's roster.
He bounced around a lot. The last team I remember him being on was like the Kings or something like that.
Right, I do remember him on the Kings. I was having a conversation with my friend in Vermilion. We googled the top. He was in the top 100 white people in the history of the NBA or something. Because come on, we all know.
I'm glad you said it.
We all know. It's not anymore. It's not comparable. You know, just even the ratios. It's not even. If you're white, you're not. You're significally less.
Larry Bird was obviously albino as fuck,
dude. So have you ever sat back and watched like one of his highlight films?
I specifically remember watching the game where he only shot with his left hand.
Yeah, because he was bored. Because he's that good. That guy was so. So he moves so slow, you don't even realize how good he was.
It's like Luka.
He was so fluid in his movements, and he's so smart. So smart. It was so fun to actually sit back and like watch. Like if you watch basketball and you actually watch the game and you know how it's supposed to be played, so you watch it differently, you know. So it's fun to know from like a basketball mindset. Like we watch him, he's like 20 steps ahead of everybody else. I mean, the only person that was probably that intelligent around that time was Jordan, which obviously,
and that was really only after he got beat down by Larry Bird so many times. He was like, I gotta get better.
Well, yeah,
he was always good, but
can you imagine Jordan's
when you're scoring 63 points and losing to the fucking Celtics, there's a problem.
Couldn't imagine that. I couldn't even imagine scoring 63 points in a game.
If I could score one basket in an NBA game, I'd be happy. Like the Lakers call me up, like, got this honorary basket for you. You get to jump off this trampoline and catch a lob from LeBron. Woo!
even if you don't make it, it would still be dope.
Let me throw that fucking powder up in the air, too. Right? Just once.
And I've never even been to a professional basketball game. I mean, that would be dope just to be in that environment.
We were gonna go, and then COVID hit, and everything got canceled. I was actually gonna go with Alex and Nick McNabb. We were gonna go see the Lake. Yeah, we were gonna go see the Lakers and the Timberwolves in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and
I was like, I just want to see a Lakers game, and like, fucking. And Rudy Gobert licked that microphone.
Oh, God.
And it was done. We had already bought the tickets and shit, too.
Licked that microphone. Oh, why'd you do that?
Luckily, we wound up all getting everything refunded and shit, too. But
yeah. Well, they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't do something like hold them and just make you use them.
There was an option to let it ride and get like a percent. Like, I think it was like, get a better tickets basically if we just let it ride.
You're gambling on the length of time.
Right.
It's like, why just give me my money back?
Right. They were talking like 2022 before the NBA could even come back possibly at one point. I was like, oh, fuck that. I'm not waiting that long.
That would probably pick a different game then. I was looking at because I've never been to a professional sports game of any sort. I mean, they're few and far between, and I'm just like, I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. Sure. So I was like,
oh yeah.
But on Halloween this year, the Cowboys play the Vikings in Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
There's some decent. I was looking at tickets. I think because I haven't like done anything for I don't really ever celebrate my birthday. I don't know why. I just never really did. You know.
Sure.
So it's like it's not on my birthday, but it's close to my birthday. Birthday's
close enough.
Well, my birthday's not on Thanksgiving this year.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And then, so like I think my plan was I think some families coming, hopefully, or we're visiting, or I'm going somewhere.
Sure.
Because my brother's birthday's a week before mine, so we want to spend our birthdays week together.
That'd be cool.
But I want to sneak in something. It's been a rough year, so I want to do something for myself. So I'm trying to. At first, I was like, "Fuck, I'm going to fucking Vegas," but I'm like, "No, who goes to Vegas by themselves?" Because like I can't find anybody who wants.
You never know what could happen if you go by yourself.
It'd be a good time.
It could be a good time or a really bad time.
Someone was like, "What if you get roofied, man?" I'm like, isn't that great?
I saw a meme today. It was a black dude and a black chick passed out each other. It said Bill Cosby and Cardi B meeting up for drinks.
Oh God, terrible.
I was like, oh man.
I was
Too soon.
I can't believe they let him out.
No!
First of all, let's talk about that first of all, because that's fucking crazy, man. Like, how many people came and stood against him in trial? Like, there was how many kids? I mean, umpteen women.
I want to say there was at least 14.
14, right? That stood firmly right there and said, he drugged me and raped me.
He admitted to buying the drugs to drug these women.
He admitted it, right? Under like...
He didn't specifically admit that he raped these women, but what he admitted was he bought the drugs, and like, to me, you fucking admitted it.
Yeah, what do you buy all them drugs for? You're not doing them.
Oh, that's for me.
You're not doing them yourself. I mean, I don't judge people like that.
I was trying to be the real ghost dad.
Terrible. But then, yeah, so like, well, I want to know what happened. Did allow Bill Cosby to come out walking like this from prison under no scrutiny, nothing, like no one's even talking about it. It's just like Bill Cosby's all of a sudden out of prison.
I specifically read that, I don't know if it was the prosecutor that handled it at the end or if it was an earlier prosecutor in the case, promised that he wouldn't be convicted or he wouldn't have something. There was a promise of like basically like leniency of some sort at some point, and that wasn't followed through on or something, so he got off on a technicality, basically. It's dumb as fuck to me. But that dude specifically admitted...
That's like some OJ shit.
Dude, it's worse than that, because he said, I will serve this entire 10-year sentence and feel no remorse for what happened. It's like, good, then serve your sentence. You said you'd do it. I
guess I didn't know he said that. That's crazy. He said that?
Oh, yeah. There was a... I think that's what he said in court, that he wasn't going to feel remorse. He was basically saying that he didn't think that he was guilty.
He doesn't think, I don't think he doesn't think that it's wrong.
Right. That probably too.
Like narcissism or whatever.
Right.
So the umpteenth.
I'm Bill Cosby. I'm
Bill Cosby.
I got the
pop. He probably could have just paid him normally, you know. Get some prostitution charges that were fucking worse. You're a celebrity, you know, like you're not the best looking celebrity, but like who ain't gonna sleep with you for a few $1,000s and just tell us Bill Cosby stuck his pudding pop in me, you know? As I went to the doctor, I was that's some stomach problems. You know, recently I had my gallbladder out, which this is a joke. I'm still having the same fucking problems now, so I gotta go do an upper endoscopy. So what they do is they knock you out and they stick something down your throat. And I
think that's the one where they go through the top still. Yeah.
But then so I was like, so I'm like, basically y'all are gonna knock me out and shove something down my throat. And I'm like, yeah, so who's my doctor? It's like Bill Cosby. Nobody laughed. Not a single. It was the same day he got out of prison. I was just like, come on, guys. thought it was funny shit. But yeah, no, so that's just super surprising. Like on a real level, that I can't believe that he's walking free on a technicality.
I mean, you know, like whatever OJ did or didn't do, you know what I mean? Like this Bill Cosby was even more cut and dried than any situation there ever could have been. It's like the only thing that could have been more clear is if they had his grandma standing there while he held 2 forms of government ID and Neil taking notes.
So right here. Fuck. So you're a big Lakers fan.
Yeah,
how'd that one hit you?
When Kobe died, I was really sad. Like I was on Twitter like within 30 seconds of the post even being on there. It's like sources are saying that Kobe Bryant was in a helicopter crash, and like when you hit a helicopter crash, you know that no matter what, that person's probably dead.
Right.
Like helicopter crashes like are not good for anyone. Like the chances of survival, I don't know what they specifically are, but they're not probably fucking good.
Well, you got to imagine the things like exploding on impact.
Oh, yeah.
With the velocity that it's
much smaller, like aerodynamic vehicle. You know what I mean? Much less.
Have you ever been in a helicopter?
No. Oh, I sat in one while it was parked. I've never like been in one while it flew.
When I was younger, they did a helicopter ride. They were doing at the
like around Christmas to see Christmas lights or something.
No, it was some. I don't know what they were doing at the weird little airport that they have there in Huron.
Okay.
But they were giving out like free, so you could ride on like those little dust crop planes, you know, like three seaters, and then there was helicopter rides, you know. So we waited like it was like a 2-day event, you know. The first day we waited like 13 hours, and we didn't even end up going. We ended up driving to Mitchell and having a picnic that day, but then my mom felt bad, so we went back the next day. We were like the first people there that morning, so we went in the helicopter. Fucking terrifying, man. Because like when you turn, it turns hard. And then, so they're not like walls, they're windows, you know, like I'm terrified of heights, absolutely terrified of heights. So as we're turning, all I'm seeing is just like the ground here. No. I almost pissed my pants, dude. I was like starting to cry. It was terrible. But I mean, it was fun. I like, as an adult, I probably know a little bit better, you know. Yeah. I've been in planes several times now.
Sure. Fuck, man.
No, those moments, that's like scary as hell, bro. Because like if you crash, like you said, like, that's it. Statistically, flying's the safest form of travel, but you know damn well, like, there's no surviving that shit.
Right.
Nobody barely, I mean, maybe less than 1% of people probably survive.
It all depends on how the crash goes. Like, if you go down in flames, you're probably going, you know? Like, if it's like barely a crash. And
if you crashed in water.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that, just like stranded in the middle of the ocean?
Or just depending on how fast you're going when you hit the water, the plane's just going to disintegrate. If you fall from more than like 100 feet, it's like
cement.
Yeah,
what they say.
Like you could jump from like 75, 80 feet safely, but like anything much more than that, like
you have to like enter. Like those guys who do the like extreme cliff diving and stuff. Even that, if they don't enter the water, like they could fucking shatter their spine.
Oh yeah, ooh.
Even at that, like okay, so I could jump. There's a trestle, the train trestle that goes over the water. It's train tracks. Call it a trestle because it goes over the water.
Okay.
Fun fact for the day: train tracks that go over water are called trestles. So, anyways, we used to go, and it's like, I might be exaggerating. It was like 50 or 60 feet off the water.
Okay.
And then so we would go and we would jump off.
In Huron?
In Huron.
Like above the river down at the park?
Lake Ravine.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, you've probably been to Huron, maybe.
I used to play shows there, like a lot through like so at the convention center.
Yeah.
And then there was a KC Hall, and then is it Memorial Park?
Yeah, there's a
Memorial Park. We played a show in the middle of the park at night, and that was our very first show there. And like everyone loved us, and they just kept inviting us back after that. It was
Memorial
Park
was down by the river and the.
Yeah.
And
we played underneath a picnic shelter.
Yeah, there's like a little golf course and a frisbee golf course.
Oh, I guess I didn't see that. It was nighttime.
Yeah.
We got there. It was already starting to get dark, and we set up and played, and everyone just jammed out and had a good ass time. It was fun.
That's dope. Nobody really goes to. Not a lot. I mean, not a lot of people go to Huron for any specific reason, besides to get meth.
Oh, sure. Sure.
That's what I've ran into.
I suppose that's where Christy Nome hangs out then.
She's really messing up.
She's fucking up.
I was listening to some commercial just right before I came over here too about her and her advocacy for medical cannabis.
Oh, I've long been a supporter.
But nobody says who even says cannabis? Nobody uses that. No. It's not a term that anybody
just
uses.
6 months ago she was fighting against it, saying that South Dakotans made the wrong decision.
But if you watch the commercial, you just look at her face. She looks so angry while it's not convincing.
She's on something, dude. Everybody's on something like at that level. Like whether it's like whether they're like a straight up Xanax zombie or something like that. Like you could just see it in their eyes. Like she's on it. She's fucking on it.
It's the devil. That's why. I want to know.
It's adrenochrome. Who knows?
I just want to know. I just want to know what the big hesitancy is. Like if we're all aware, at least in the medical sense. Like I guess I can understand like the hesitancy to make it recreationally legal. Maybe
the hesitancy I understand by people that buy into propaganda and like gone their whole lives only knowing one thing. Like it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I mean? They're just going to... the brain wants to believe the first thing it knows on a subject. So, like, when all this information is coming out now, and it shouldn't even really matter because, like, if this is supposed to be, like, a country based on freedom, like, whatever you put in your body, if you're not hurting anybody else, it should be nobody's fucking business.
Yeah, I mean, like, over in, European countries, like, drugs are legal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Oregon's trying it out. We're seeing.
Well, they did the decriminalization thing, so it's not so much that it's not.
Well,
it's illegal.
I think I can appreciate what they're trying, what they're really trying to do. Well, because if you look at anybody who's, I mean, most people that smoke, even weed, have some kind of underlying reason that they're doing it. They're self-medicating for something. Sure. It's usually anxiety
or some type of trauma in early life.
Some type of mental health issue. So like, and then you get your people who just get lost in the addiction because of that. But like, the idea of actually treating them as people instead of fucking criminals, man. I mean, people are in jail, wasting away in jail over some petty drug charges.
Well, yeah, you get caught with a little weed, and you like, depending on what color your skin is, you might do a little more time than someone else, and then you could have like a white rapist who gets 18 months, and then he gets out on good behavior and has to just join a list.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't know if this is true or not anymore, but I know when I was in college, I got arrested. I had weed on me in my door. I got arrested in my dorm room. That was super fucking cool, man. It wasn't even my fault, dude. Andy Lane, if you're listening, I still owe you for that one. This dude, we were all drinking, so like we were 4th floor Pearson SCSU. I think to this day we still have the most write-ups for one floor in 1 year in SCSU.
Oh shit!
So it was like we were always pranking our RA. Like within the first week we was sleeping, we duct taped his door shut. One day we filled like the whole. I'm talking like almost the whole hall. They had like in their one of the old rec center. They had like 100-pound bags of packing peanuts. Just so many of them. So it was because there was like 16 or 19 of us. We were all on the same floor that were all just really good friends. Most of them were from Sioux Falls, so like me and a couple of people just fell in. We took all those packing peanuts, bro, just dumped them in the hallway. I mean, we're talking like waist level in the packing peanuts. It's just stupid stuff like that. But and then we were always getting the cops called because we were all just drink a lot, drugs. You could get just about any kind of drug you wanted. on that right there, it was kitty corner from me. So we were partying all the time, and then we would go to parties together. We would leave separate because some of them didn't smoke. So so the ones that would smoke, we're done drinking. We're gonna cruise on the way home, hit up Walmart for some snacks. And so this time in particular, there was 4 of us. Me, my friend from Huron, he was also my roommate, and then 2 guys from Sioux Falls, Tyler and I can remember the other guy's name.
Oh shit!
We called him Ralph. I think.
Ralph?
So not Frank.
Ralph!
Frank. No, Frank. We called him Frank, but that's not even his. It's not even his real. I didn't even know that Frank wasn't his name until a year after, like my freshman year in college. I know this guy for a whole year, and I just called him Frank. I didn't even know that was his real name. So the 4 of us, we cruised back. We hit up Walmart. Get back to the dorms. First thing I hear is, "Hey, go to your room." Cops are on the way. I'm like, "Oh, I know the drill." Walk to my room, but I had this Easy Mac, right? So like in your dorm rooms, there's no running water, so I had to go to the laundry room, which is here. It's 1 door over. Open the door, I'm like looking around, don't see anybody. As soon as I peek out, I see a cop down there. I'm like, well, I'm already in the hallway. Just act normal.
Yeah.
So I go in there, turn it on, go back, put it in the microwave. As soon as I put it in the microwave, I hear the knock on the door, and I'm like, I'm fucked up. Like I smell like alcohol. I gotta smell like weed. So like I just opened the door because I didn't know what else to do. I had beer cans all over my room, and then he starts talking. I don't remember what he says. I just like close the door on him. We were all in there. All 4 of us were in there. Or no, Frank. I think Frank went back to his room. It was me, Tyson, and Tyler. And then before I know it, there was like 3 of them in my room arresting us.
Oh God!
The only actual glass pipe I've ever owned in my life, I got arrested with.
Oh.
And then so we're sitting in handcuffs. Hallway, they're tearing apart my room. Like they tore out ceiling tiles looking for shit. I'm like, they found 0.04 grams of marijuana, which is like a baddie, you know, it's like 2 baddies, and my pipe on my beer can. So, and then the guy Andy, he's down at the end of the hallway. I look over, he's like this with his phone. Taking pictures of us. I'm like, bro, you're paying all of our bails. I hope you. So what happened was, is he's in, and nobody knows. I don't think anybody this day can ever explain why he was laying in the middle of the floor for 2 hours screaming, "Omali's got it! Omali's got it!" I'm like, why? Why were you yelling that? And then I thought it was ironic that I was the one who ended up getting arrested. So,
what's he got? Yeah, he's fucking got it, bro.
Whatever it was, it got me arrested. And then, so I told that story to say that getting arrested, and it wasn't the fact that it was on campus. It was just the fact that I had marijuana in my system.
Oh, sure.
Disqualified me from getting financial aid for school.
Because it's federal money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think that's so crazy to punish people for that reason. When you got homie in the room next to me, he's got straight A's, but I see him snorting Adderall.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't got a prescription, but it's fine.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I have a problem with the system.
It's fun.
In general, it's crooked. College was fun, though. Dude, it was so interesting. SDSU, I didn't do anything, man, for a whole year. Took it more serious, like, the year after, but then ultimately decided that, like, the whole go to high school, then go to college, that whole plan isn't really, that type of American dream doesn't really exist anymore because college isn't affordable like it used to be. And it's like they just pump these young kids for fucking money, and then you're just enslaved to us. My mom's 57 and she's still got like $40,000 worth of student debt, you know.
I have a friend who had like $60-some thousand, I think was what his total was at the end of school. And then I think he's paid off like quite a bit of that, and now he owes more than he owed before. It's like,
how does that even make sense?
The way the interest works, you know, it's like, and everyone's like, oh, well, everyone agrees to it. It's like, yes, they do agree to it, but
y'all presented it pretty shadily.
Yeah, it's very predatory, you know. If people were educated more on those types of things, you know, I think that's important, like, moving forward in the world. Like, I think people are actually seeing it now, too, that, like, just going to a university or a college isn't even all it's cracked up to be. Like, you have much more luck right now at entering a trade school or a technical school of some sort.
I mean, even just flat-out work experience.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in what we do for jobs. I've trained people who are fresh out of culinary school, and it's like,
you can make a nice fucking omelet.
Yeah. It looks nice fumet, bro.
It took you twice as long as everyone else, though.
It looks good on paper, but the actual work set skills aren't there. And I mean, I don't really know much about other jobs because it's pretty much the only thing that I've ever done.
Sure.
But I know that having particular work skills are necessary in any job.
Absolutely.
And then so like these young kids are going to school, getting these degrees, and then going out into the job world and then starting at the bottom in the hopes that they're going to rank up faster. So it's like, at what point does the education, like, you can teach yourself that shit anymore?
Right.
Education is so accessible. You could learn anything.
You could learn almost anything on YouTube.
Right.
And people laugh at that, but it's like, fuck you. Visual learners learn very well that way.
I can't learn in a classroom. It's not like I could have been a straight A student if I had better, like, my doctors always thought that I had ADHD, but like, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. They're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the type of probably mid conversation with squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm definitely one of those people.
Ooh, piece of candy.
But it falls really good in the restaurant business, in the kitchen sense, because like having ADHD allows your brain to multitask.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be able to.
Well, you find out what works for you. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
until someone comes in and messes up your station.
Yeah.
And your pepper's here and your salt, like your pepper's messed up. So you're like, who the fuck was here? You know what I'm talking about. I get real particular about my, so at work I have this Miranda. Miranda is her name. I don't know. I've only just started at this job. You know? And then so like, the diner was on fire.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so
did she come from there?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But we have a lot of those employees. So I started the same day that all those employees started.
Oh, shit.
So, like, all the people that are there think that. And not to, like, say that anybody is, like, a scrub or anything, but, I mean, I do have a very extensive knowledge. Like, I've been in many management positions, but I think they all are under the impression that I just, like, some prep cook and some... Because they got me on pantry, bro. I'm making salads.
Oh,
like,
dude.
It's just so easy.
Like,
but
I'm
it's
just going
like,
to do a good job with this because it's easy.
I'm not. When I was telling Cole, I'm like, bro, don't tell these guys anything more than they already know. Like, just let them think I'm this dude from the diner. Because if they're gonna pay me this much to make some salads, you know, I'm like, I'm good with that. But so like, I keep moving stuff around on the station because it's so whack, bro. Just like
you find better ways to do
more efficient,
yeah.
right? And if someone else has a better idea than me, present it. We'll work through it. If it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. If it's not in your day to work the station, you know, I'm gonna set it up. But then, so like, just the other day, we had these shrimp tacos, right? And then, so you have to grab something from up top, open this drawer, and then open this drawer. But there's like empty space. We can fit it all in one drawer. So I put it all over there. She's just like, can you not do that? And I'm like, do what? What do you mean, do what? She's just like, well, I know where all this stuff is individually, so it's hard for me to remember. I'm like,
Why? It's in one spot now.
I'm like, you can't remember that there's 3 ninth pans in this? You just literally boom, boom, boom. And she made this face, just this real ugly face. And like, in that moment, I decided like, I'm not gonna argue with you because it's just so frustrating because like I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but I can definitely tell you I know that a lot more than her. I just, and that, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And
facts
it's like,
are facts,
right? But like, where we are is we're like the same level of employees. So like, I try to keep that mutual respect, but mostly I just want to look at her like, just get the fuck out of my way because you have no idea what you're doing. Hate it. But then she told, I guess this was crazy. It was a super awkward moment. There's this little 17 or 16-year-old hostess girl. She's a little Hispanic girl. I think she has a crush on me. She came up the other day, so she came up standing at the end of the station. Then it was Miranda, and then me. And she goes, you know what Miranda said the other day, Omali? And I was like, I'm like, what? She goes, she said she's glad that you weren't able to make your shift because she thinks you're fucking annoying. I was like, I looked at Miranda. Miranda just like dropped her knife and looked at me. I'm like, I don't even know. How do I respond to this?
I would have asked her if it was true.
I did. I was like, did you really say that? And she just kind of like, and she didn't really admit to it. I know she doesn't. I know when people don't like me, dude. I already know when people don't like me. Like, I'm pretty like empathic. Like, I already knew she didn't like me.
That's why we get each other.
Right. And so it was super, like, well, the worst part is that was, like, at the beginning of the fucking day, man. We worked the same stations. We had to work, like, in that awkwardness for, like, 6 hours. Because I finally, like, after, like, I had to go grab something out of the cooler, and I ran, and I don't even know what the little girl's name, but I asked her, I'm like, did she really say that, though? And she goes, she just looks at me, she's like, yeah, absolutely, she doesn't like you. And I'm like, and I came back around the corner. Miranda goes, well, I don't know what that was about. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I already know you don't like me, so I'm choosing to believe her. And then we didn't talk the rest of the day. I went home early. It was so awkward. Now I don't want to work with her anymore. Not because she doesn't like me, but it's just like, I want to have a good...
Why would you want to be around someone that doesn't want you around?
Yeah, I want to be at work. And even, like, I don't really like the job. It's not what I want to be doing. I mean, I'm very focused on that food truck and getting all of that. And, you know, just being my own boss, like, it's important to me that my job allows me to take care of my kid the way that I need to. So, like,
set your own hours.
But it's important for me that, like, I'm still... You're at work a third of your life, your adult life. It's a big portion of your life. So, like, you have to figure out what the fuck makes you happy.
Right.
At work, and it's not being around people who are fucking scoffing at me when I gotta work next to them. Like, I'm not a bad person. Like, I could be a dick sometimes. We all can be.
Absolutely.
You know? And sometimes, like, I could. Some girl told me, what did she call? Fuck, did she say? Chauvinistic. She called me chauvinistic. She said, you just give off the impression that you're chauvinistic. I'm like the nicest, most respectful person.
I don't think she knows what that word actually means.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess, like, I don't know. She's lesbian, very man kind of seemed very feminist. I don't know. This was within a week of knowing me and not even getting a chance. I was so fucking offended, man. This was that Slim Chickens I was sitting there because like she just wasn't vibing with me, or I don't know. You can tell when the vibe is off.
You vibe it if you vibing, you vibe.
I told my boss because she was starting as a manager, one of the other managers, so it's big boss, me and her. Okay. It's like we got to get along because we're fucking co-managers,
right?
And then, so finally, I took my boss aside with him, like, yo, I don't know what the deal is, but we got to sit down and figure it out because I'm not coming to work under these pretenses. We need to fix whatever the problem is. So we sit down, and he says his piece. She says her piece, calls me chauvinistic. And at that point, by the time it came to me, he's like, well, do you have anything to say? I'm like, I honestly don't even know what to say. Like, I told him straight up, I was like, I feel super offended because, one, you over here, as the new manager, has not even approached me and tried to talk to me. I was like, I'll sit here and watch you be friends with everybody else. I was like, you haven't even made an effort to try and get to know me, and the first thing you want to call me is chauvinistic. I'm like, yeah, that's like the type of shit that makes me not want to be around you guys. My other boss was gay too. I felt very ganged up on. Oh, sure. In the moment, like I really did feel like,
sure, a gay bang.
I don't know how to say it without sounding fucking. Say it again.
A gay bang.
A gay bang. Yeah, that's what it was. It was super felt attacked for sure. But it's whatever.
Well,
I mean, because I know I'm not that way, but it's still like, dang. I mean, I can be a dick. So a lot of people tell me that, like, well, you know, the first few times I met you, I thought you were an asshole, and I'm like, I don't get that.
I've always found you to be an incredibly respectful person, like more respectful than most people that I've ever worked with. Like, yeah, we can all talk shit when it's time to talk shit, but like when you met like a new person, you were always like incredibly kind and respectful to everyone. There's no life's too short to fucking just feed people shit all the time. You know?
I mean, like once you get in and like you know people well enough, like we could sit here and poke fun and razz with each other back and forth and talk shit to each other because we know each other at that level. But like, remember Sarah?
Yeah, she still works.
Work, and don't get me wrong, Sarah and I ended up being pretty good friends, but like. She's not always a very nice. The first thing she said to me, I was at, and it's kind of instant. We laughed about it, but as I was there, it was my first day at Crave, and like I got social anxiety real bad, you know, and that's part of why I'm so respectful to people is because like I want people to like me, make sure all those little things are they go right, but like so bad to the point where like I was you don't when you pour things into a squeeze bottle, you don't use a funnel unless it's like mayo-y, you know, if you need to, or if you just scoop it in. But I didn't want to make a mess because I didn't want to make an ass of myself. When like the first hour, so I was pouring something through the funnel into the squeeze bottle. She came around, slammed her Red Bull down. Really? You're gonna use a fucking funnel? What a bitch! And I was like, who is that? I looked at Brett and I was like, the fuck is that? I was like, I don't think we're gonna like each other. And we ended up being good friends. I mean, at the end of that's the type of person that I am at the end of the day too. Sure. Like I would totally go up to her if I'm in a like at Crave or in a comfortable setting. I would totally go up to a random stranger and say shit like that. I had some lady at Hy-Vee. This is the weirdest trip to Hy-Vee I've ever had. It's totally out of the box story, but I got to tell you now. So I went up to Hy-Vee, and this is like after my knee surgery, you know. And so I'm on my cane.
Big Daddy cane.
Yeah, I got my cane. And I'm just like huffing and puffing further. And the first thing I see is this like, have you seen the new Aladdin?
No, that's with Will Smith, right? As a genie? I haven't seen it.
Well, so the guy, like, he looks like this guy that was in the Hy-Vee. He looked like him. He had the long hair. He was like Indian Fabio kind of, but not as muscular. And he's walking down there, and I'm caning through, and this motherfucker pops out some Heelys. Like he's just skating through on Heelys and just goes like that past me. And first of all, because I'm on painkillers, you know, fresh out a week out of my surgery. I had to stop for a second. It's like, yeah. And then it happened again. He skated by me, and I had to ask him, like, are those fucking Heelys? He's like, yeah, man, I bought them at some thrift shop in Billings, Montana. And then he starts to talk to me, and then I started getting like awkward vibes because like I started to realize he's gay.
Oh,
right. And then I just like casually exit the conversation. I go around the corner and I see this little employee, like a teenager. He was in the online grocery shopping, you know, getting an order for the people.
Oh yeah.
And then there was this lady. She had the coronavirus shirt, you know what the virus looks like, and then it had the the big red circle with the thing for it, and she's sitting there preaching about the COVID-19 hoax or something to this boy. And you can see, I could see, this is the look he kept doing, because I'm like standing there, I'm shopping for my drinks, and he's like looking at me like, bro, help me. So I took it upon myself to like play hero for a second. I walked past, and then she's just like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, it's fine. You're not really in my way. It's not that big of a deal. I just need to grab this drink. And she goes, no, I'm not sorry that I'm in your way. I'm sorry you fell for the hoax. And I just laughed like, oh shit. I was like, what are you talking about? She started preaching. Like, oh no, lady. I was like, I don't have time for this. And I was just like, quite frankly, I don't think this boy who's trying to just do his job really has time for this either. I was like, you shouldn't be bothering him like that. I was like, go bother the customers or something. Bro, when I tell you this lady shrieked at me, she fucking, get the fuck out of here! This is none of your fucking blah blah blah. It's just like I've never done this before. I made this motion. I was like, oh, and I walked away. And as soon as I walked away, there's Indian Fabio on his fucking Heelys talking. He's just like, oh my god, what was that about? I'm like, I just came in here for 4 fucking things. I just came in here for 4 fucking things. And then he starts talking. He starts talking to me. He goes, oh, so what did you say your name was? I'm like, I didn't. Let me get my Doritos. Now he's yeah, I got super awkward. Like, let me get my Doritos, please. And then and that was the end of the trip. But it was super, like, so first of all, it's on with the painkillers, you know, and like taking any, like, I don't do anything like that. You know, I smoke. So I was like super out of it already. And then to have that experience, like, while I was at that level of like being high on those painkillers, it felt like I was in there fucking forever. Came back out there, Cole was driving my car, and I just sat. He looked at me, he's like, you good? I'm like, I'll tell you. I was like, all I'm gonna say is Heelys, bro. Remember those things?
Those were pretty cool. I was too fat for them.
I think by the time they came around, my ankles, I was too scared to roll, so I've sprained each ankle like 40 times.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, look at this one. It's
oh,
like
Jesus.
Calcium deposit on it, because like it just stayed. Yeah. It's like someone just stuck a fucking golf ball in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess like what happened is like it just stays swollen long enough that the swelling literally calcified and turned into bone. Like,
oh, yeah.
It was like my senior year in high school. I looked down one day and I was like, at that time it was real sensitive, you know?
Like, oh.
My whole body's falling apart, bro. I went to the doctor last week because I had some pain in my neck and shoulder, but I don't really know. It's just all over.
Yeah.
And then, so your neck is supposed to be like curved. Like, I don't know, like this way or something?
Yeah.
So mine like is normal kind of here and here, and then it's just straight fucking down. And so now I got to do like tests. I got to go do an MRI to see if I have like any herniated disc or bulging discs or something like that. And then amongst that, if you see here, like see, that's just normal, right? It looks so. But then you go over here, and
is that where it's at?
I got this shit. It's like connected to my clavicle, and it comes up here, and then I can't feel it anymore. But deep under the muscle, there's like there's something,
a tumor, a growth of some
sort. So I gotta get like CAT scans. Odds are it's not cancerous, but it's super painful to the point where like I'm probably gonna have to have it removed. And like this, my doctor said it might be muscle or tendon, but I'm like, in order for that to happen, it would have had to have ripped off somewhere and reattach itself to the collarbone. And I was like, that. He's like, that probably wouldn't happen. So we're like, no fucking idea what it is right now.
It's an abnormal growth of some sort, at least.
Abnormal. That would describe me in my life. I'm anything fucking about it. Well, and I hated it too, because I had no idea my neck was in that type of condition. You know, I think because my knee was so bad for so long, because this has been like this for a couple of years, where I've had like constant neck pain, and so I got this cleared up, and then I realized maybe that this has been this bad the whole time, and I just didn't know. You know what they think part of the neck thing is from? So what do you do that you do this motion? Smartphones, yeah. But you work that way.
All of that too.
And for somebody who's 6'2", working on those counters, they think that being in this position has been really the main. Because I never had any like real traumatic.
Yeah.
I was drunk as shit going through my divorce. I was in Kansas and I crashed a 4-wheeler. I think that probably, like, I guess I don't remember it, but I went over the handlebars.
Oh damn!
But this part of my back hurt. But I wondered if I didn't, like, that didn't assist in it. But when I think back, I've had those problems. I've had problems with my neck since like high school. I remember when I played basketball, sometimes I would turn and then something would pop and I would get like this really hot sensation. So like I think that's like a pinched nerve.
Oh sure.
So they think that it's been pinched like that. Because like I woke up, I felt fine this morning, but like even now as we sit here, the left side of my face is like kind of numb.
Oh damn!
It's pretty dope.
Hopefully you're not having a stroke.
I might be. That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. The memory loss and all that. Well, and so like I was on high blood pressure medicine for like. Remember when I was at Crave?
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember how big I was? I was like 265 pounds or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then smoking cigarettes and just unhealthy lifestyle. So I was on high blood pressure medicine from age 20 to 30. Since I quit, I haven't smoked cigarette in 2 years.
Oh nice.
And then lost that weight, and I haven't been on that medicine. But I've had like back then when my hot blood pressure would get really high, like I would get symptomatic for heart attacks. And they say that my doctor told me at one point I was having like mini heart attacks. And because like when I say like my whole left side of one time I went to the emergency room just crying. I was like, just my whole left side of my body was just numb and tingling. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. My blood pressure was at like 172 over 104 or something.
Oh yeah, that's high.
Which is like you're about to have a heart
120
attack.
over 80 is normal, so that's way high.
Well, and then so when I was that consistently at like 160 over 100 or something like that. So I don't know. Something they said at that time there's possible like permanent damage to my heart and all this other stuff. Like my mom's throwing out the cancer word all over the place here because like it runs. She's like, oh yeah, your uncle so and so had bone cancer. She's like, it could be something like that since it's attached to your bone. Like, the fact that you just say that so casually bothers me.
Hey, no big deal.
And then she'll end it with, but don't worry. I felt like I wasn't worried as much before we talked.
I feel worse now.
I feel far more worried. Yeah, it's been interesting. The knee surgery, the gallbladder. We didn't maybe miss something with the gallbladder because I'm still having pain.
Well, yeah, so what, they put you under for that one and did the thing where they blow up your stomach and take it out, and there's like 3 incisions.
5.
Oh, yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Like Autumn had that happen too.
One in your belly button?
Yeah.
Is that where they pull it out of?
I thought that they pulled it out of these ones.
Oh.
I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna leave the image in my head of them pulling down my belly button. It's cool. Like,
don't tie that motherfucker back up.
Like Alien. Remember Alien when they fucking alien burst? I wanted it to be something like that. I thought it was interesting when they were telling me they're like, we're gonna just blow your stomach up like a balloon. I was like, interesting.
Okay.
I gasped for days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The pain was weird gas.
Yeah, the pain wasn't so bad, but it felt just bloated the whole time. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing 2 surgeries within 30 days of each other.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I prefer to have no more if I don't have to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know you've had surgery before.
Well, I have 2 stents in my heart from the heart attacks that
yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yo, so I'm still on blood pressure medication and stuff for that, like cholesterol stuff, and I take like fish oil every day. I take turmeric for inflammation, which actually has helped my feet problems so much. Like if you remember back when you worked with me, like there would be like a couple times like a year where I would just be out of work for a few days because my foot would flare up and there was nothing I could do until it worked its way through. And I, knock on wood, haven't had that happen in a long time. Yeah. Like especially since I've been taking turmeric over like the last year and a half or so. Like I haven't even had one flare up, and that's the longest I've gone in like 10 years.
That's awesome,
dude. It's cool. I
definitely believe that if you could treat something, like I won't take medicine unless it's absolutely necessary. I mean,
Yeah.
your body's designed to fight like infections and even injuries and all of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So like,
I started taking zinc to boost my immune system.
yeah, taking things like turmeric or even just eating better.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a lot harder for me to do. They say it's not hard, but it's like
I eat like shit.
It's expensive to eat good.
Yeah, it is. It's just hard. There's so many. Nobody. I mean,
I like to eat good food that tastes good, and I don't really find a lot of healthy options that taste good, and then I just don't eat it all, which isn't.
It's a lot of. It's a lot of work to eat healthy too. Like, I mean, we live in fucking America where it's super over glorified to be busy as fuck all the time.
So like large of portions for everyone.
The other day I cooked dinner for me and Cole. I made 2 pork chops. I made some grits, some cheesy grits.
Ooh, nice.
And like some kale, just some kale. Like, it wasn't anything super fancy, you know, but to actually make a decent meal like that took me 2 hours.
Sure.
Like, and now if you take and I have a kid, you know, so I'm busy. Granted, it's a different type of busy because we're home all the time.
Sure.
But like for some people who have like kids that are in sports, after school activities, multiple kids, the idea of spending 2 hours a day to make dinner, that's unfathomable.
Well, if you think about it,
I only do something like that once or twice. I would say a week, but that's a lie. A month. A month. I had fucking McDonald's for lunch yesterday. I had
McDonald's for lunch yesterday
We
had Taco Bell today.
Little Caesars 3 days in a row, bro. $5 pizza, killing it. Well, and it's hard. Part of it's because like when I'm with him, I eat that way too. Because like it's autism, it's a sensory thing. Like he only eats so many things.
Sure. What's his favorite thing?
Pizza, mac and cheese, chicken nuggets.
Nice.
Those are about.
What's his drink of choice?
Oh, Fanta, orange Fanta.
Oh, nice.
Sprite.
Ava really likes orange Fanta and Sprite.
The other day he drank like half of my Mountain Dew Live Wire, dude. Oh my god, that kid should not have caffeine. Well, on top of his autism, he's got ADHD. So like he's already a little fucking crackhead.
Sure.
And then so like that's a lot of sugar.
How old's he?
He'll be 7 on the 23rd.
Wow, dude.
You see how big he is?
So how old was he when we worked together then? I felt like he was pretty young, like 3, 4?
He was 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
So I was there for a couple of years.
Yeah. You were there for a while.
Yeah. Alex and I had a bad little falling out. I was able to patch up our little... Well, listen to this. This is some crazy shit. Francesca's mom died. Remember that? Do you remember Francesca's mom died? I was gone for like a week or something right before I got fired.
Oh, yeah.
And then so... I needed an extra suitcase. I did not have any extra money to buy an extra suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
I was just talking about it. Alex was like, yeah, I'll let you borrow this suitcase. Dope. And it's like one of those nice hard cased ones.
Oh, sure.
With like the smaller carry-on size, but still it had to have been $120. So we decided to put Francesca's mom's valuables that we were going to bury her with in, because they actually took the body to Salt Lake, just outside to Roosevelt, Utah, in the mountains, which was super. First time going to the mountains. So
Sure.
it was just like 2 hours from Salt Lake City. So we get there, and then like I didn't see that. In my head, we're taking the things out and we're burying them with her, because that's what normal people do. These motherfuckers threw the whole suitcase in the grave.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm just over here like, is it rude?
How the fuck am I going to fix this?
I was like, is it rude? Because I'm all ready to jump in there and get the suitcase. And so they just start shoveling dirt on it. Like, man, this whole time. So I ended up buying him a new suitcase. I got fired the day I got back. I got fired. He's Cole's boss at the country club now.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and...
Are you guys cordial and civil now?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Well, we were just starting not to see eye to eye. I mean, even at that point in my life, I was like that. I was just unhappy in my life in general. So like I was angry with everybody.
Yeah.
And then like Alex wasn't always the best boss. He had his moments. I mean, he cared about his employees, and that made him a really good boss.
He always worked really hard for me. So,
yeah.
But I do understand that there were people that didn't have the same experience as me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard position because like he's really not a bad boss.
No.
I felt like I didn't, in the position that I was in, I felt like he pushed a lot of the blame on to us. Like he was always dodging what his action. I asked this dude like, the first 2 months I was a manager to walk me through the order. A very important part in that busy of a restaurant.
Sure.
And then so when it came down to the first time I did the order, I had never been walked through. And sure, I've done orders before, but it's a different restaurant.
Different Paramounts and such.
Totally fucked it up, dude. Totally fucked. Like, we ran out of seafood, steaks. Darcy was there that weekend. And then... So I told Darcy flat out, I was like, I ordered this truck. Okay, so I'll accept my responsibility in that part because I messed up. We're out of this, whatever. But it's just like, at some point, like, you got to hold somebody else. You got to hold the person accountable because things like this kept happening and happening. And it's like, so it's like my first impression, like when I was just a broil cook, Alex was dope. And then like my first impression going into management was like, oh, not good. And then we had little consistent things like that going on. But I think at that point too, like I was kind of getting arrogant. Like when he wasn't there, I was like, this is my fucking restaurant. I never said that, but like I knew it well enough to where I could have ran that restaurant. Sure. And sometimes I think I let that mindset kind of...
I know specifically that you were a manager that people felt they could go to anytime they needed help.
That's good. That makes me feel good.
Well, I always like talking to Nolan recently, we even talked about that. He was like, he was the person that you could always count on to, if you needed something prepped while you were on the line, he'd go do it for you real quick. Or he would help you on the line if you needed help on the line and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? I think people always remember that. That's whether or not people have falling outs or missteps in their positions, I always try and remember the good times.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're around your little work family like that, you know, you guys, remember one time it was Mother's Day or New Year's or one of those stupid busy days, you know?
Yeah.
New Year's. Doesn't matter what day it was. I cooked we cut like 400 steaks or something for this day. And,
was it for an event or was it for that thing?
It was something on the line. It was for a mother. It was I think it was for New Year's. It had to have been for New Year's. And because it was the year we opened up one of the extra banquet rooms.
Okay.
And then...
the year I remember that. Oh, shit.
We were doing like steak Diane's and a bunch of different stuff. I cooked all of those steaks by 7, almost all those steaks by 7:30. But I came in that day and like nothing was, like they had the stuff started, most of the stuff kind of prepped, you know, but like we were at the point where we needed to start getting it on the line, getting things heated up. Yeah. It was like, I walked in and everyone's just chilling. I'm like, how's the day been, guys? Like, it's been good. I'm like, I was here yesterday. I know that you guys should be busy. Is what I'm thinking. I'm like, this is going to be bad. By the time I get up to the line, it's like just total fuck fest, dude. We have 4 people on broil. Me, Ben Munning.
Oh, yeah.
Cole Browse.
Oh, shit.
Shane. One-eyed Shane.
Okay. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I think he was at Minerva's or something.
That was what I had heard last from Nathan.
And then so I get out there and it's just total fuckery, dude. I'm just like poking steaks, temping them out, listen to what he's asked for. Well, here's a mid-rare, here's a medium. Kind of like a bunch of them start coming back and I'm like, not my fault, okay? I just got up here. I'm not going to own that these steaks are my fault, but I'll fix it. So like an hour goes by. There's a mid-well steak, and one of the last steaks that came back was mid-well. Now it's like, and make sure that one's fucking mid-well this time. I just turned around. I was like, what? And I was just like, I've given you every fucking steak that I've cooked. And then we had this little argument, you know? And I had a $100 bill on me, you know? I was just like, oh, and I slapped it in the window. I was like, I bet you $100 fucking bucks that steak doesn't come back. And then I instantly, that was the first time I ever got a cooler talk. You know, cooler talks. Steak didn't come back, but I did. Even as soon as I did that, I turned around. I was like, probably he didn't appreciate it. He's like, took me in the cooler. He's like, if you can talk to me like that behind closed doors, you can't fucking talk to me like that in front of all these employees. I'm like, I know. It
was a heated moment.
It just, that's all I can do, man. It just came out. We're all humans. You were screaming. I was screaming. Let's work through this, man. That was like one of the worst. I wouldn't even wish that night upon my worst enemy. No. By the time I walked over to the cooler where they get the ice machine over there, like this, dude. My fucking eyes were blurry. I heard the printer for like 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up.
We don't even have printers anymore, and I still hear the printer. I worked breakfast for like several years without any printer at all, too, and used those tickets.
Yeah, even when I was there, they were still giving you those.
There was a short period of time where they tried to have the servers start ringing everything in, and it didn't go well.
They probably panicked.
Well, besides the fact that it wasn't in the system right in the first place, like there was no way to notate certain things, like special things, and that would get missed all the time.
I mean, most of the time there, it's like it was like the pace that you could handle as long as everyone's writing them.
Yeah, even when it was busy, I knew how to handle the busy by watching how it was coming in.
Sure.
Knowing what I needed to have ahead of time, and like I could sling 30 omelets in 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Well, and when you've been doing it for so long, it's muscle memory.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm actually really excited about right now. They're gonna give me an opportunity to go back to our actually suggested a hybrid menu, going back to our old stuff and having all that easy stuff that's quick sell stuff, and then keeping a few things from their new menu that they gave us. So I'll keep we've got like this avocado bacon sandwich. It's got like over easy egg, smoked cheddar cheese, 2 strips of bacon, like a quarter of an avocado fanned out or whatever on top. Sure. It's on like this special croissant bun. It's actually pretty nice. And then we got like this breakfast lobster avocado toast. So it's like 2 pieces. Do you remember the brioche lobster toast that they would sometimes have for that Crave Cares thing? Mm-hmm. So I use that brioche bread as the whole squares instead of the rounds, and then I get like guacamole on top of that, and then it's like lobster and pico and some sauce mixed together on top of that. You get like a lime in each corner, and then a quarter of an avocado in each corner, and then like in the middle it gets a nice little breakfast. It gets arugula tomato salad in the middle of it all, which is kind of weird to me. But then 2 poached eggs on top, like parsley on top of the eggs and shit. And so I'm gonna keep that because it's been selling pretty
almost
good.
Like a Benedict with the poached eggs on there.
Yeah, they brought a traditional Benny onto the menu. We're gonna keep that, but we had a crab cake Benny, and it sounds like a good idea, but like when your goal is to get everybody their food in 8 minutes after they order, it takes 8 minutes to cook crab cakes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes these ones.
Like, I'm not a fan of fried crab cakes. So like if you want to cook them properly, it's going to take some time on a flat top or a pan.
Exactly. And that's the biggest problem is like when I'm by myself, one person can only execute so much no matter how good they are. I mean, like, even like I said, Michael Jordan was scoring 63 points against the fucking Celtics and losing, you know what I mean?
I think that's just that's a huge problem when you start getting into just like those corporate restaurant chain type restaurants, We want to do 5-star food at a 3-star pace.
Right.
It doesn't work. I mean, it can work. It does work. Obviously, they're making money off of it. But it's not like
our sales have basically tripled with
like we're like right. Well, and it's like going over to all day cafe. Like we're doing breakfast. It's a breakfast place when the holiday sauce comes out of a bag that's heated up in a steamer. And it's like if you guys but what you're selling on the menu says fresh holidays.
Oh yeah, I hate places that lie like that. Just be
honest, man.
Like I think you're stealing from your customer when you charge a price for something that it's not what it actually is.
Right.
I mean, stealing's wrong. I mean, you shouldn't do that to your customer if they're the people that are.
It's false advertising.
Yeah.
Like we're selling 6-ounce sirloins and being told to cut them at 5.5. It's only a half an ounce, but you're still robbing the customer. You're still lying. That's a base lie. That's like somebody found out about that somebody heard me say this now, and they're like, "Wait a second, what? What do you mean? $2 off my next check?" Because that's how people are. People are like, you know exactly how the customers get so demanding. So I can't be a server. Just laugh at people like, no, there's no way that's fucking happening.
I know that I could do it, but I think that the mental aspect of it would wear on me quickly, and I would age exponentially.
Yeah, well, I think that I mean, we can all put on a smile and fake our way through our day, but like I'm a man. Like I truly believe that we should allow ourselves to display our emotions all the time. Like if I'm at a shitty mood and I'm at work, at least I'm fucking at work doing my job. Doesn't mean you have to talk to me. I might not talk to you. It's fine, but I'm still here doing my job.
Yeah.
And you'll see it. It's gonna be all over my face because I'm emotional like that. Like, could you imagine now just being in that type of? I'm sure you've probably seen me in some probably bad moods there before. We've both been there. Somebody just walks by like, don't talk to him today. Got 90 things on this fucking prep list to do and no prep cook. Vicky works at All Day Cafe now.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought she would be at the casino still.
She was. Corey stole her.
Oh, from the casino. Nice.
He was trying to get Brett to come over there, too.
So last I heard, Brett had cancer or something like that.
Yeah, I guess he was fully into remission, and he's
good for him.
Pretty well.
Good.
I guess Corey was taking care of him.
Oh, wow.
Like, feeding him fucking spoonfuls of food and shit.
Holy shit.
Really take care of him. I think he lived with him for a while.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I remember he was telling me something about it. My car was in the shop for a while, so Corey was giving me rides. Yeah, I did this thing where I let someone convince me to try and work on my own car. It ended up costing me a new radiator.
Oh, sure.
$1,300 later. So
oh, yeah, because they charge you for they got to order the part so they can mark it up 15%, and then they got to charge you money for putting it in.
Yeah. So that was lesson learned. I should have took shop maybe in high school. Fucking some things you shouldn't learn on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah. As soon as I was pouring this fluid in, I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't remember the last fluid being this color, but fuck it. That's what we're doing. Driving out, and all of a sudden my car started heating up. Shit started like spewing out of places, and it sounded like it was flooded. Like every time I turned, like just water under. Like, this is awesome. I was doing DoorDash too, and so I had someone's food in my car from Firehouse Subs. I had 4 subs in there. So they were texting me while I was on the phone with. He was Verizon roadside assistance or something, getting my car towed. Where's my food at? I'm like, oh man, my car broke down. I didn't even think about that. I called DoorDash. They're like, well, we'll order them new food. Just go ahead and keep the sandwiches. I'm like, yes, at least something good came out of it. 4 dope, fucking big ass sandwiches. I had dinner for like.
Firehouse Subs is good.
It's good.
Was one of them a brisket one?
There was a brisket. There was like some, I think it was a pizza meatball, like a pepperoni.
Oh yeah, they got their meatball
some kind of Italian, and the other one was like turkey bacon.
The turkey bacon ranch thingy. Yeah, that's good too.
Solid, dude. I ate nothing but Firehouse for like 4 days straight.
They got good wheat bread. I'm sure it's just frozen shit like anywhere else, but like they did a good job when I went there.
It's solid bread. I went to. Have you ever been to Potbelly?
I haven't been there yet.
I went there for the first time, and I was like. I guess I was imagining the way that it's portrayed to be more kind of like upscale type of, like some nice breads and whatever.
And it's just Jimmy John's?
It was just super expensive, and like you get whiter wheat bread, and then so they put it through one of those little pizza roller oven things.
Oh, the impinger thingy?
Yeah, and then so it actually cooks the bread instead of toasts it, so your bread's just like crispy.
Crunchy as fuck by the time you get it.
And there's like a minuscule amount. It was just not. It wasn't for $13 or $14 for a sandwich, chips, and a drink. I felt like I'd probably not ever go back there.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can go get the Philly at fucking Subway for that price.
Talk about sandwich makes me want to go to Pickle Barrel.
Pickle Barrel is good.
Yeah,
I haven't been there in a while, but that's like the best sandwich shop in Sioux Falls, I think.
There was you go to Vermilion ever?
Not in a long time.
Yeah, probably used to play. You ever play shows back in Vermilion?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. There's a place there called.
There's a bowling alley down there. I think we played at or something.
Yeah, I think it's not a bowling alley anymore, but it's.
There was a pizza place too. And then I think we played at that Maya Jane's place a long time ago.
Maya's. They used to serve some shady tacos after midnight, but they were always so because you're always drunk as shit. $1 tacos. I don't know where they came from. Someone's always walking around. No, they had like a little buffet thing. It was super awkward. It was just the weirdest thing. Like once a week on Tuesdays, sell tacos for $1. It's good times. But no, there's a sandwich shop there called Mr. Smith's.
Okay.
Cafe. If you ever find yourself in the Vermilion, it's the best sandwich shop in all South Dakota. They got this.
It's Mr. Smith's Bakery, right?
Mr. Smith's
I had a friend that worked there actually that I used to work with.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with a guy named Phil Tyndall? He's like a real tall dude. He plays music and like real smart dude.
I don't think so, but I actually worked at Mr. Smith's for like 2 years back in 2000 and like it was like 2010 through 2012.
So I want to say he probably worked there maybe around that time.
I mean, it was a college town, so there was like a lot.
He was a baker.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? I do. There was him and there was one other guy baker. I can't remember his name. He was shorter with long hair, but yes, I do because I remember a Phil working there. But then so he would know about this too. Ask him about the bread Bible.
Yes, I actually have heard stories about
the
this.
bread Bible. It's like this fucking
like the recipes and stuff.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 some pages of just bread recipes. Man, it's super crazy. I was there working one day. So the thing about it is it was featured. They had an article featured in Oprah's magazine.
Okay.
One of her assistants came through, liked the bread so much, she took some back that Oprah tried, and she wrote about it. And it was like 1996 or something.
You get some bread, and you
get some bread. Everybody gets some bread. I'd rather be there on the day everyone got a fucking car, but I'd take some bread. One day we were there. This lady said she drove all the way. She was like, came all the way from Ontario, Canada, because she read that article.
Holy shit!
And just to try the bread, she had us out in front, like all the employees taking pictures. Like we had customers waiting for food, and she said, "Let me get a picture with everybody." We're all like looking at our boss, like, "Just take the picture." She said, "Yeah, just take the picture. Get her out of here." She was there for like an hour, bro. Like, I mean, it was cool, but it was If you ever find yourself there, man, it's just great. I mean, it's simple. Like all the breads, at least. I mean, it's rotated every 2 days. Like it's fresh bread.
Sure.
And I mean, the meats aren't anything special. Like the capicola and the salami are actually like kind of higher quality, but it's just like simple deli meat, sliced fresh. You with the option to cook it on the flat top or get it cold, but it's just, it's solid, fresh, and the bread's really well. Even just buying, like, you can get just the bread loaves. Every time I'm there, I bring some back.
There is nothing better to me in the entire food world than simple, good tasting food done well.
Yeah.
It's perfect. If you can just do something simple and do it right, thank you so fucking much.
That's how it should be. I mean, that's like classical cooking. I actually quite enjoy like Asian cuisine, and specifically for that reason. It's so just simple, few ingredients, just very technical, done right. I very much enjoy that too. The little motto for my food truck, actually. So the word it's called Epicure Tacos, right? So the word epicure means a person who has particular taste in fine food and drink.
It's one word?
Epicure.
Can you spell it?
Epicure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a whole backstory. It actually comes from like a Greek mythology or a Greek philosopher. Gosh, words are difficult right now. A Greek philosopher, his name was Epicurus, and his whole approach to his theory of life was to preach simplicity and the simple things of life. So the motto for the truck was actually, like all things magnificent, it's very simple. Because it's like, I think for food specifically, it should be treated simple, but also like as just life in general. So easy to overcomplicate life with everything fucking that goes on around us.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I was at my doctor's appointment, and I was looking at my phone for a little bit, put it in my pocket because like we're always looking at our phones. Mm-hmm. Sat down and had a conversation with like this 70-year-old man, talking about I was giving an old man advice about having a knee replacement, which was super ironic in the first place, but then that got me thinking about like, we talked about, magazines used to be on the tables, and like I didn't even realize like over the time they don't even put magazines out anymore. We talked about being like little kids and like coming up in a small town, and the rules were just simple, like do whatever the fuck you want, just check in with your parents every 3 hours and come home. Like life was so much simpler, so it's a nice little reminder.
Kids could go to the gas station without getting worried about getting picked up by some fucking trafficker or something. Yeah.
Yep, I know damn sure I wouldn't. I mean, granted, because my kid's autistic, I won't let him go anywhere, but like, right. I hate to use the word normal, but for a normal kid, I wouldn't like hear and see falls. Hell no. I mean, maybe a couple blocks away, like if he's 10, 11 or something, like, gotta gauge it. If he's strong,
I can see him walk all the way to the.
If he's strong, well, is he strong enough to hold his own? Can he wiggle out and get away? Like we gotta.
Does he have good trigger discipline?
Well, the thing is, my kid thinks everybody's a friend. So
sure.
Like we're not. There was a. So now that we're on this subject, there was a thing we used to do as kids. You're younger, your neighborhood friends. Like our friends were our neighbors.
Yeah.
And my neighbor Chris had this big yard, so we'd always take our tent during the summers. We'd camp out in his yard because like we were kids, we couldn't just go camp anywhere. Sure. but that was like our sleepovers. But what we really did is we would coordinate it with our friends around town, and we'd all like wait till our parents were asleep, and just fucking walk around town, do stupid shit all night. We'd have like coordinate meet up here at this park at this time, and I was at like third grade. It was me, Chris, my cousin Ben, my cousin Jeremy. We were all out staying in the tent that night. And then so the thing was, there was this person or people going around between, he had been spotted in Watertown, Aberdeen, Mitchell, and Huron in a white truck and a white van going around kidnapping kids. And then so like we're out doing our thing. We're playing like Bloody Mary or whatever kind of form of tag we were playing. Started seeing this white pickup in this white van driving around, and then driving around. And then like we're getting scared, Naturally, well, you think the natural reaction, for a kid would be like, go inside, tell mom. We're like, if it's a false alarm and we tell mom, now we can't go back outside. So like, let's just write it out, guys. If we get kidnapped, fuck it, dude. He's probably got candy. And then like shit started to get really real because I started driving in the alley, right? So like we all like, it's again, instead of running inside, the four of us go, we just get in the tent. Zip the tent, and then it goes around in the alley, stops, gets out of the truck, walks up to the tent, and then walks away, and then left. And we never I've never told my mom that story because I feel like she'd freak out still. How would you ever tell me that? But I'm pretty sure, bro, we were really close to being kidnapped that night. Like, it's a true story. It was so fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, things like that happen. I mean, small towns like that are probably the best. Probably some of the best places for people to do stuff like that.
I suppose
You would think. Human trafficking.
I know South Dakota is like perfectly like in the middle of the country, and in a way that the two of the main interstates in the whole country intersect, and like apparently it's a big hub for like trafficking for the nation. They're always catching people.
I can see it. I know when I first moved here back in 2012 or 13, there was a house right across the street from McKinnon Park. They found like 19 women in there or something like that. And it was crazy. You just never, and you never know people,
Yeah, no shit.
I always say too, because you watch all those documentaries about Ted Bundy, and they always talk about like how, and obviously he's not a normal person, but how he was able to just live a normal life and give off that. Like the dude held the same job. No psychopath holds the same job for 30 years. Like they're unstable people. They don't get that. It's just they don't give off that vibe.
Oh,
I wonder how much it is to sell a child on the black market.
I don't know. Probably depends. Like whether they're a boy or girl.
I always kind of joke because like sometimes Caden will like the other day we were at the store and so we all get a little lazy, and our parents, I wasn't paying attention to where he was. I turned around, I'm like, fuck, where is he? Where the couldn't find him for like 5 minutes. He was back in the toys, of course. We just weren't like crossing paths, and I just got to thinking, I'm like, damn, like, be honest. Someone kidnapped my kid, and then they're like with him, and he's as autistic as he is. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring him back. The value's low.
Sure.
The value's got to be low, so I don't worry about it. Just go do your thing, bro. I'll meet you in the toys. No, he'll bring you right back. Well, and he's 110 pounds, bro. Like, pick him up and run with him.
Right.
You throw your back out.
Yeah, you'd be all right, I think.
Terrible things, I think, as a parent.
At least you're thinking.
Yeah. I've tried to avoid that most of my life. It usually gets me when I start thinking too hard. It gets me into trouble.
Oh yeah.
It usually gets me, and they just fly with it. Well, as my friend Josh would always say, just roll with it. It's like,
don't be a pussy. That's what they would always tell me growing up.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's that toxic masculinity shit. Don't have feelings. Don't cry. Don't be a bitch.
You gotta be strong. And if you ever cry, we're gonna make fun of you for being gay.
Right. Dude, I heard the word queer the other day. It just floored me. I was like, first of all, who says that? I was like, I was kind of appalled. I'm like, we don't use that word anymore.
I always understood that word. To me was always, I knew it as its proper definition, which is weird.
Right. Queer was, I think I was introduced to that word on South Park.
Yeah, I probably do. Something about steers and queers, and I don't see horns or something, right?
Yeah. Well, I was talking to somebody recently about just like how the language is so different. You know, like I also heard the word fag because I was like, what came up? Some ICP song randomly came up on my playlist the other day, and they used the word fag, and I was like, not like offended by it. I was just like, dang, I just haven't heard that word, and how like the verbiage, because you think about the like movies in the '90s, and like remember they would always depict like bullies and things like that using words like queer, fag, and that. I'm just like, interesting. I don't know. Those words didn't age well. Nobody uses them anymore. But we live in a much more. I don't know. I was on the fence about that. If we live in a like people are more sensitive these days, or if like because
it seems like it, but they're obviously like I'm a big free speech advocator, but obviously like there's words you shouldn't say if you're a certain color, you know.
Yeah, I
like
think
white people obviously shouldn't be dropping the N-bomb.
I think people are too quick to get offended by things, you know, like automatically if you disagree with somebody and you say something they don't like, they take it offensively. But it's not like it's not a personal attack. We just have a difference of opinion.
Right.
You know, that's all it is.
And everybody's racist these days, like no matter what. Like every time there's a disagreement, like, oh, you're racist.
We gotta throw that race card out there so quick.
But everybody does that like now, and like even white people are doing that and shit now, and it's like I don't think because someone says racist things that they're necessarily a racist. They might just be dumb.
They might just be ignorant.
That too.
I mean, I think that people are more ignorantly racist than they are actually like knowledgeably racist.
It's like someone that makes like jokes is different than that person who's burning black people on a cross in a KKK costume.
Like I know white people who I would literally sit in front of me, have conversations about how, when, and why it's okay for them to use the N-word, but they're not racist people. Right. But they're sitting there trying to justify it to me, and I'm like, hey, dude, like I'm 56% white, but there's still a lot of me. A lot of me is agreeing with you, but a lot of me is disagreeing with you. I did Ancestry, and they're like 56% white. I'm toting the line 50-50 real fast, but it's, you know, I remember this is legitimately this happening one time. I was on the phone. I'd never met this person. I talked to him a few different times on the phone, and finally meet them in person. They're like, I had no idea you were black. You sound so white. On the phone.
That's actually my favorite joke for all my black friends. Yeah. Like, at some point, they're gonna say, you know, I'm black, right?
Right.
And I'm always like, you're black? No idea. One time I said that to Kiana, and she's obviously like black as fuck. Yeah. Right. She laughed Kiana. So fucking hard.
I've seen her a few times too since I've been back randomly. She's always, you know, Kingsmart. That gas station on 41st.
Yeah.
She's always hanging out there. She's just looking shady.
Oh, really?
Asking me about Coke and shit. And I'm like, bro, I just literally came here for a Red Bull, man.
When you're trying to like stay away from those things, it's uncomfortable.
It was super well because like, hey, I mean, I hadn't seen you. I haven't even talked to you in 3 years.
Right.
I ran into you at a gas station. She went like this. She goes, you know, you still party? And she did that, and she went, and I was like, nah, not really. I actually, no, I don't do any of that. I just live my life. Kiana, it's random. You don't ask. That's not a conversation you bring up. Like, we weren't even friends like that. Super uncomfortable. She looked real small, like she had been. And I ran into, there was that Asian dude. Remember Daniel?
Oh, yeah.
Asian dude with all them tattoos.
The guy who wanted to fight Kyle. And he pushed him when he shoved him when he was going out the door and called him a bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Him and Jeremiah. Oh, I ran into Daniel a couple times at Planet Fitness. She's like, yo, bro. You're looking at him. Maybe he won't recognize me. I'm in gym mode. I don't want to have conversations. Right. You know, so of course he recognized me. I was like, yo, bro, what you been up to? He goes, oh, man, I just got out of prison a few days ago. I was like, right. Not surprised.
Right.
Not at all surprised.
I should have bet you $20 what you were going to say before I asked you.
Well, I remember him and Jeremiah. I remember one time Jeremiah, remember how big Jer was?
Yeah.
One time I was sitting there. He was all casually telling me how he was just like, some people when he was locked up, they just look at him wrong. He'd start stabbing him up. And I'm like, work next to you with knives. Because one day I lost my shit with him because like I was getting killed on broil. And I was a sous chef. But at that point, I so much I don't want to be on the line unless I have to as a sous chef,
Yeah, 9 million other things to do.
Yeah, so I had to be on the station already. And I was already there setting it up because he was running late and something. And then I looked over one time. I had like all these tickets and no chair. And that like for the most part, I can handle that station. But that station got to the point where it needed 2 people, and I was just killed. Dude's gone for like 45 minutes. And then he comes back and he just drops in, starts cooking. I was just like, bro, where were you? Looks me dead in the face. He goes, none of your fucking business, man. And I was like, I'm your boss. What do you mean? It's literally it literally is my fucking business. Like, you tell me where you. He goes, I was on the phone. I was like, you didn't think to say anything? And I kind of went off on him. And this dude squared up to me. I felt so small, dude. And I'm a big guy. I was like, we'll talk about it later, Jared. I started thinking about this motherfucker. I'm going to die inside Crave. This isn't where I want to die. This can't be my final resting place.
Fuck.
But that's like also a testament to the type of characters that you get in the kitchen. You get rough people in there, man.
While people are on parole, you usually do all right if they're like trying to stay out of trouble, and then as soon as they get out completely, they fuck up right away.
The first opportunity, like even at Slim Chickens, when you're talking about like the young kids, so there's like Sequel Youth, and the guy that we were working with, they're like basically kids with no guidance that are getting in trouble in JDC and all that, and he helps them get jobs. So we employed a lot.
Okay.
We employed a lot of them, trying to always talking to them, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm out of this program in a couple of weeks. Be back on the streets." I'm like, "Bet." I'll go to my boss. I'm like, "We're gonna have to replace so and so in a couple of weeks." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "He's told me he's getting out of Sequel. He's probably either gonna go back to jail or he damn sure ain't coming to work." Because all those, even when you get the people from like the Glory House and that, like they're just trying. Most of them probably don't want to work,
but they have to.
Well, they have to because it's to stay out of jail, and you don't want to sit in those places. Like you rarely get Mike Shorns out of the Glory House.
Rarely. He was like the diamond of all diamonds,
dude. I remember. Well, I was always so frustrated because the turnover rate in the restaurant industry is so ridiculously high. I remember seeing.
Yes.
Crave had been an entity in Sioux Falls for 8 or 9 months by the time W-2s came back for the first tax season with them.
Oh yeah, there was weird shit going on,
and they had about 200, at least 200 of them. And that it was like that all the time. Every time I go there for DoorDash, like, yeah, I'm the manager. I'm like, different manager here like 2 weeks ago.
Scott's the only one that's left. Yep. He actually just got promoted to assistant GM.
Scott.
Yeah.
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
Anna, you remember Anna? She's the prep cook. She's the banquet exec.
Yeah.
I helped hire her.
Yeah.
David, is he still there in sushi?
David's sushi chef.
Preston's been in and out of there a few times.
Preston, I think, is like the assistant to David now.
Yeah.
Axel just got hired back again as a bartender, though.
Yeah, I ran into him a few times. I kept running into him at Hy-Vee.
Yeah, he was making sushi there for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's working 2 jobs or what he's doing now, if he's just working at Crave as a bartender, but either way, I hadn't seen him in a while. That's always cool. I always really liked Axel. He when he wasn't too drunk or hungover, he killed it, man.
Right.
His sushi was super nice. He made those little animals out of fruit.
You're right. Interesting. Oh yeah, Jerry. Speaking of people who were drunk at work.
Was it drunk or meth? I couldn't tell, man. So like this. Okay, I'll just give you how it happened. I went on vacation. Right. I came back from vacation. I worked one morning, and then the next morning, this guy comes in and he said, "Hey, I'm Jerry. I'm gonna be working some breakfast with you and stuff to be your help and help you with prep and be your second guy." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "What do you know about breakfast?" He's like, "Oh, I work at the All Day Cafe. I worked there for a while, but I just came back." He said, I think he said he worked there like 3 months or something like that. He said, I just got back from Texas. I don't really got a lot going on up here, and he had like 3 paychecks in his wallet from the All Day Cafe, and he said he couldn't cash them anywhere because they wouldn't let him. They said that Walmart froze all his accounts, and it's like, if Walmart's not letting you cash a check, you did something. Like, Walmart's not a bank. Like, they're not gonna freeze your accounts and shit. And well, anyway, I couldn't tell if this dude was homeless or not.
He is.
Oh, he is for sure. Okay, so he went to go get his ID, and then but the third day that he went to work with me, he didn't show up. He came back and said that his phone died and his cousin had a diabetic reaction, had to take him to the hospital, and he couldn't charge his phone all night. All right, everybody gets one. You know what I mean? Everybody gets one. So like he came back the next night. I'm just gonna say
real quick, your first mischief, you don't have to lie that hard.
No. And if it's your fucking like first week there, like that's a big red flag.
Yeah, yep.
But I told my boss, I was like, we're not getting anybody else. This guy actually knows how to make eggs, and I didn't have to train him on that. Like he was, but then like the fourth day I worked with him, he started doing weird shit. Like he started putting a dome over the eggs to cook them, and a dome over the omelets, and then like he put like brie cheese, like the liquid brie, he would put that in the wet side of the omelet before he flipped it. And I'm
not really.
What the fuck is going on here? Like, and there was one time I was calling shit off to him while we were getting busy, like calling shit off to him. He just like standing there looking out across over the burners, like watching this omelet. Like he would took a bunch of breaks. He would disappear for like 20 minutes at a time. When he went to take a break too, is like, I'm just going to go get a coffee and go to the bathroom or whatever is what he was saying. And then like by the end of the day, it was like he was a completely different person. And I couldn't.
Yeah.
Then he worked a bunch of days in a row. And then he was supposed to have a Tuesday off. And then I worked with him on that Monday, and I had to do inventory in my coffee order. And I had told him I needed to take care of that. So I asked him if he'd help me work on the line while I went and did that. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then I went and started doing my stuff, and he just disappeared and like started setting up pantry and doing all these other things that he didn't need to do. And then like I didn't get to do any of my shit till the end of the day. And then when we left,
super frustrating.
Yeah. At the end of the day, went to go leave. He's like, all right, man, I'll see you on Wednesday. I really need tomorrow off to charge my batteries. You know, he's like, I really need. Like, it's my only day off this coming week or whatever. I was like, oh, cool. Well, enjoy your day off. You know, I'll see you on Wednesday. Tuesday morning. He shows up 10 minutes before we open, and he's like, oh, hey, you need anything? I can punch in and help or whatever. I was like, no, I can't just let you punch in like that. And he's like, oh, well, can I just make some breakfast real quick? And I was like, oh, sure, that's fine. He had this backpack on, and that was when I realized he was homeless. And I was like, oh, shit. He wound up going hanging out in the fucking pre-function area over in Banquets on the other side of the electric doors or whatever, and he just hung out while they were having events all morning. Homeless dude parked on the couch with his phone plugged into the wall with a stinky ass backpack, and he reeks like fucking booze.
Right.
I don't know that he reeked like booze, but the lady who was working over there said that, and they also found he was showing up. So the morning after he didn't show up, he showed up at 3 a.m. and went and just sat in the back while the floor cleaner was there, and the cleaner told me about it. And then the next morning when we worked together, he showed up 45 minutes before me to set everything up. And when I got there, he had already been there working for a while. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy on? Like, it was either drink or meth or something, man.
Well, I know for sure that I worked with him one day, my first day at All Day Cafe, and what you're talking about, the staring off blankly. It might have been my second day. It's my first or second day, remember. But the staring off blankly and not like doing anything and disappearing for a while. I guess he was drinking the bourbon that was in the back.
Shit.
At All Day Cafe. But like he was, I guess that day, Cole was waiting. He was going to use my car for something, but I ended up getting off work early, so he was out back in the break area, in the employee break area waiting for me. Jerry had just disappeared at 2, just said, I'm done working, and went over to Tap House. You know, they're connected.
Oh, yeah.
And he was so drunk that they kicked him out of there. I'm like, first of all, like, who gets that drunk at their workplace, you know? But like while I was working with him that day, like we had met at the fridge, and I could smell like the alcohol on him.
Yeah.
So I go out there. First of all, Cole and him are sitting out there. I walk out. I open the door. He goes, "What's up, Adonis?" Like Adonis Creed. So like,
shit!
Instantly, I'm like, I don't know you well enough for you to be calling me that, bro. Like, what the fuck? And he just started like, I don't remember what he was saying. He just saying some crazy shit, but I wasn't trying to even listen. I'm like, already at that comment, I wanted to go, and I looked at Cole, and I'm like, let's roll, bro. And then this dude, what's up, bud?
Go.
We'll go sit over there. Yeah, this dude, he stands up as I'm leaving, and he goes,
yeah, that'll work.
He goes, well, give me a hug then, brother. And I'm like, I have no problem hugging another guy, you know. I really don't. But I've only known you for like 3 hours, so naturally, I just wanted to make it less awkward, getting a social anxiety. So I was like, whatever, give him a hug. Thought he was like up in his feelings, and then I'm walking away, and he's just like, yeah, make good decisions with your life, child. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You want to come sit over here? You want to say hi? Hi. And then it's fine if we swear around him, by the way.
Okay.
It's totally cool. He doesn't hear shit. And I guess this was at like 2:30 or something. I left, and then here, sit down. Sit here.
Sit here.
They found him passed out in that employee break area, just slumped over.
Shit!
But they were saying the same thing too. It's like they would show up at like 6 a.m. to start opening the restaurant, and he would just be out there like waiting, ready to work. But his shift didn't actually start until 8 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, I guess that was what everybody found out, is that, which is both like, I have so part of my food truck is that I want to be able to feed the homeless, right? It's always something that's just kind of passionate, something I've always been passionate about, something I volunteer in. Hey, don't touch that, please. But also like what I want to do too is like, so those kids at Sequel and those people that are in those kids are in those kind of troubling, I want to be able to take it and I'm trying to partner with them and become a mentor there.
Sure.
So with the idea, because you take those people from the Glory House, the kids that are in those decisions, those are the kids that are the people that are looking at future homelessness, you know. So like I want to be able to take those people, employ them on my food truck, but also make them serve food to the homeless and be like, bro, if you don't start making good choices, you know, like this is gonna be you. There was a point in my life where like I always had a roof over my head, but I was sleeping on friends' couches.
Sure.
Know, stuff like that. That's not very far off from homelessness. So like here talking about Jerry, and like it makes me like, there's the first instinct is like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And then the other part of me is like, dang, that must really suck.
For real.
You know? Because then someone told me recently someone donates money to like some charity around here. And part of what their donation is they specifically ask that the money be used to get homeless people and like people in the Glory House driver's license for that reason, because they can't get jobs without them. They can't cash checks without them. They have no access to money. So that was something that kind of popped up into my head. But then again, at the same time, I'm still like, fuck.
You can't have people doing that kind of shit at work. Like, they're not going to be helpful. Like, he was actually incredibly helpful to me the first few days, like prepping and stuff. Like, I don't really have anyone to help me with prep. Like, I will prep a bunch of shit on Fridays, and like I'll come back on Mondays, and if it wasn't busy, I'll still have stuff left. And if it was busy, I just have to start over every Monday.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Right. I mean, just cutting fruit for that shit is.
We don't even cut fruit anymore. We do fruit out of the the lunch lady stuff, you know what I mean? And like, it's a higher quality than the lunch lady stuff. It's like actually got like dragon fruit and stuff in it, you know what I mean? Like, nice. People really like it, but I mean, it's not like fresh cut every day. It's in syrup or water or whatever.
As long as customers like it.
Yeah. I mean, people enjoy that, and like we got fresh berries and stuff still if people want something like that.
I have to slice strawberries because we have like a strawberry walnut salad and something else. So like, I do like two to three third pans of strawberries a day.
Oh shit,
dude! It's so monotonous. Just so monotonous.
It takes a while because you gotta chop the top,
and then I gotta do cantaloupe. Then I gotta do pineapple.
Oh sure.
Like it's a lot. It's
lots of fruit.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about like customers and their, you know, how they view restaurants and stuff. And I hear from so many people, like, I'll tell someone my shift starts at 6 a.m. and they're like, yeah, but you guys don't open till 11. Like, and what? Where do you guys think the food comes from? Like, it doesn't come in looking like that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's such a demanding job. This is work. I mean, I've got literal health issues, physical health issues, because of how demanding that job is. And then, like we talked about earlier, the worst part is like most of your bosses, most of your employers don't even give a shit.
Oh yeah,
they don't really care what's going on in your life. How like your mental health, like even that job is mentally taxing. You know, as a cook, one thing you never really hear is compliments. You know, you don't get praise like most. like
even if the table said something nice,
right? They hardly tell you. They did the employee of the month thing for a while, but that's just kind of like, when I think about like taking care of your employees, like I've had employees call in and straight up tell me like, yo, dude, like I'm just having, like I'm in a bad mental space, like I physically, like mentally can't. I can be at work, but mentally I'm not gonna be. I'm like, okay, take the time you need. Like, don't take too much time, obviously, but
right?
like, or
take
the time that you need, but like stay in communication with us. Like actually taking care of your employees' emotional health, like physical and their physical health, because like you're asking a lot. You're asking the demand. I mean, I was a sous chef at Crave. Those first 6 months, we worked 60 hours every week for 6 months straight. It was me, Kyle, Alex. We had Ben for a while, but
yeah, I remember when he left.
Yeah, he wasn't always the most productive.
He was ready to go by the time he left.
He was ready before that. He's doing pretty well. He
joined the military.
Yeah,
I just talked to him just a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while. We play this. We always pop up in each other's Facebooks every once in a while. So we used to play this. He's a pretty black kid for a white boy. Like he's pretty he can be pretty gangster, So every time he would do something like quote unquote gangster, I would give him black points, and then it started like going back and forth where we started giving and taking black points from each other. So like, I would post something like about me and my kid, on Facebook, and he would pop up, be like, "That's -1 black point for actually being a good dad," shit like that. So like him and I, we still play that game. I'm trying to go. Yeah, it's got some awkward responses on, because like we did it openly on Facebook. And a lot of weird responses from people like, "Fuck you guys, that's not funny." I'm like, yeah, if you guys really knew, it's actually pretty.
If your friends talking to you, it's different. It's not like we just don't know each other,
right?
I would not just let this little white kid talk this shit to me if I didn't know.
Right? I actually might be seeing him. He's in Kansas somewhere. I can't remember. But
he was in Missouri last I talked to him. And
Kansas City, Missouri, I think.
Oh,
I think is what I'm thinking, or somewhere in that area over there. But I got my best friend from like childhood. We've been friends for like 25 years.
Oh yeah.
He lives in Topeka, or just outside of Topeka, and then I got another friend who lives in Kansas City. So his birthday's this month. They got Worlds of Fun, Oceans of Fun.
I love Worlds of Fun.
And then they got the Legoland, which is also...
They got a Legoland down there?
Legoland.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they built it onto the aquarium. And then, so like you can buy a day pass for Legoland Aquarium, and then a day pass I think for his birthday at the end of the month. Or, probably at the end of the month, I'm going to go down there.
Dude, that'd be nice.
Stay in Topeka, but I'm trying to see if Ben will come visit, because he's awesome. Let's always have a good time with him. See what it's like if he's doing all right these days. Because he was in a pretty rough spot when he left Crave, like emotionally and all that in his life.
I know too that him and Jazz broke up, and he wound up moving down there to Missouri, and he was with another girl. And then I remember he had said things weren't working. I thought he said things didn't work out with her. Maybe I could be wrong, or maybe I misunderstood. But I know he's having a rough time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I've talked to him, he seems to be doing. I mean, it's hard to know when you just vaguely talk to somebody.
Right, over the internet, it's different.
Internet, yeah. I don't know. I think like
I always hope for the best for Ben, because he's always been a good friend to me.
I mean, he's one of the most kind-hearted people. Yeah. Like, you meet those just genuine people, even if whatever it is, they're going like Cole in his life. Like he's got some rough fucking edges. Like his mindset is like fight first. And it's always interesting to me, like the shit that he says, because he's a very violent person. I
watched him almost beat up this kid named John on the line at Crave one time, because this dude was this short little white kid was just talking shit to him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he looked at him and he's like, I don't give a fuck. I will beat your fucking ass right here, right now. And I was like, I thought he was going to grab him by the throat.
I've seen him do that to just people at the bar for saying there was one guy he said some weird, awkward, racist. I don't remember whether this other story was going, but we were at the bar. We would just go out and play pool. I'm not a big drinker, but I enjoy pool, having a couple drinks. I guess we would go out to either Papa Doc's or the Nickel Spot.
Sure.
Real low-key places.
Hi.
And we were there one night, and WAP came on.
Oh, yeah, the wet-ass pussy song.
And I just started laughing, because I'm like, my first thought is this isn't the environment. Like we're around a bunch of there's like 7 old white people in here, and like a group of loud college kids that came to the wrong bar and just decided to stay anyway. So fuck it, we're just gonna throw darts. They were the ones who played soccer. All these white people. I'm the only black guy in the bar, which is pretty typical for most of my life. Not so much anymore, but where I grew up, so I was used to that. And I start laughing. I was just like, oh, who put this fucking song on? This old white dude at the bar goes, ha, we thought it was you. And I was like, immediately, I was like, wasn't really expecting a response. Cole takes it upon himself to go threaten this dude. This dude's like in his 50s or 60s. And he's like, I went to the bathroom because like, I was upset, and it took a minute to be like, it's not that serious, Omali. Just, he was trying to be funny. It was inappropriate probably, but like, no need to go over there and like educate him or be mad. I come out of the bathroom and Cole's over there. The guy ended up buying me like both of us apology beers. Cole was telling me the shit that he's telling me if he ever catches him outside in the bar, so he's gonna like choke him to death. I was just like, I laughed it off, bro. I was like,
You're more upset than me.
Yeah, and I see, and he's like that. He's like that all the time, dude. It's so crazy. But I'm just not a violent person.
He's fiercely loyal, though, to his friends.
Oh, yeah. And I guess I left that part out. That's where I was going with that. It's like, there's that aspect of him. But, like, what I see is that, like, he's the most genuine person I've ever. Like, he's fucking ride or die with anybody.
He gave me a knife for free that he fixed up and sharpened for me. Yeah. Like, I never had anybody give me a knife like that. Well, Kyle actually did give me a knife for free one time, and I passed it on to Nolan when he didn't have a chef's knife.
Yeah, we have a super dope friendship because, like, both of us are still kind of in hard spots in our lives where we're trying to, like financially, paycheck to paycheck, or not even paycheck to paycheck. Sure. Like he's telling me, he got his paycheck the other day is like $1,100 or something. He's selling $800. So it's already spent, and like what that's like. So like, even with Caden, like he bought Caden a $45 fucking Nerf gun yesterday.
Nice.
For I didn't ask him to. He just go ahead. So like the three of us, even just the two of us, like we go out and eat together, and it's like there's no like it's on me this time, it's on you next time. It's like we're like, bro, I'm hungry. I got like $50. What are we eating? And I miss those type of like genuine friendships where it's just like I got your back, whatever, no matter what, just knowing that it's gonna be when things are reciprocated. Yeah. I think so many people these days, we want to try and give with the expectation of something in return, like that is. I remember I dated this girl in Texas for a little bit. I'd get her flowers or whatever. Just like, oh, I saw this. I thought you got it. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess. Well, what do you want in return? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I've always just been like in a relationship where like people just gave me things and because they wanted something. I'm like, that's really fucking sad. Like, no shit. Like, that's really sad. I was like, nah, I saw this and you like pineapples. So it's a fucking pineapple. And I thought it was $7. I got it. It's like, I don't know.
Weird. I don't need nothing for this. There are a lot of people out there. They're always trifling, They're always they're fucking motivated by like what they can get for someone. It's like, yeah, I'd love to do this for you now, and then maybe later I can get more of a favor out of you.
Right, that ulterior.
It's not even necessarily about an equal exchange, like
selfish. Yeah,
that ain't cool. I try to.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of really good friendships.
Sure,
there where people aren't like that, but that's I think that kind of empathic nature. I don't know. My trust and shit was destroyed when I was a kid, but by a lot of people. So like, I'm very wary about. Like, I'm a pretty open person once you get to know me. Like, sit down, talk about anything. But like, I'm very like, I don't introduce myself to people. Like, I started a new job. I don't know why.
I always wait until like now. I just tell people. I just wait until they've been there for a long time because otherwise, I know they're just going to be gone in 2 weeks.
Right. I think that might be a part of it too. But I notice I do that in general too. Like, I just wait for people. Like, I'll wait for someone to come in. I'll work with you for 6 days and not say shit to you. I got people at Ezra and Jordan. I've worked with these dudes on the other side of the line for 3 weeks now. I don't know their names. Ezra. I just learned the other one the other day was Ezra because he was working next to me. That's crazy. The line there too. It's like it's like 40 feet long.
That's weird.
And then so it's like salads, cold and warm sandwiches, pancakes, French toast, and then hot sandwiches. But you do the hot sandwiches on the flat top, it's a mess. You have to do it. You're like turning around doing sandwiches while you're doing 30 pancakes on this flat top. Yeah. And then there's 2 more flat tops in the middle with 2 people just yelling shit. I need this and that and this and that and this. You got that salad? I'm like, it's 17 tickets down, man. I'm gonna get it. And then you go down. There's the saute station. And then you go down even further, and I think he does eggs and burritos or something. It's so busy, man.
That's pretty wild, dude.
Like, you have to see it sometime, dude. It's the craziest line.
I've never ate breakfast there, but I did eat there lunch. Me and the wife went out there one time a couple of years ago, like right after they first opened, and those sweet potato waffle fries and whatever they dip those in is really good.
It's really good. I like
the aioli or whatever it is. I don't know if it's like a garlic aioli or a sweet garlic aioli or something.
I can't remember what's all in it.
It's good.
It's delicious. There's 13, 11.
Put that shit in my mouth, all over my face.
So good. I love sweet potatoes in general. Sweet potato fries. There's like 11 salads on the menu, which is
that's a black point for you.
Take that. I'll play it. We can play that game. I need them too, dude. That 56% killed me.
55.
Well, because like my brother did the ancestry thing first, and his was like it's like 62% white or something like that.
Oh, sure.
Right, and it makes sense because
does he look whiter than you?
Yeah,
like he's lighter shade.
Well, and just like everything about him, he's. Remember on the Chappelle show when
Chuck Taylor?
He did the white, his little white voice and his white. That's
Teddy residue.
My brother's a lot like that, and he's very well educated. Well, he's an English major. He's very well educated, and he wears sweater vests and stuff. So like.
Oh, so he's Michael Key.
Carlton. Yeah, he's very much that. So like, it's no surprise that his came out. So but like me, I was a little more thuggish, a little more rough around the edges. I was definitely at one point dressed like I was gangster. Been in trouble before.
Gangstalicious.
I automatically get black points because I've been to jail many times. I got more street cred. So
that's where all my black points come
from.
So
I figured surely I'd be at least even 50-50. So I was a little brokenhearted.
I'm at least 7%.
So, but it's good. If I'm at least 7%, I know that. I would just want to know, like, it's good to know that if there ever was a racial draft, that I've got more options.
Right?
Like I could go either way.
Black delegation choose Tiger Woods.
The one that really surprised me is that my dad. God damn it! Actually, I'm gonna have to go home and watch that the racial draft. That's so funny. So my dad's from the Virgin Islands, that's down by Jamaica. So like, just automatically I would assume like maybe I would have some Puerto Rican and even just that type of blood but I have like 1% of that, like that Western Pacific Islander blood in me.
Would it be like Trinidad, Barbados, all those types of different things? It's like, not Trinidad, that's actually in Africa, I think.
It's like 2% or something like that. So I'm actually like mostly German and Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah, that one threw me off. I wasn't expecting that, the Nigerian one, because like I'm not.
I'm built now.
I'm not. Well, I'm not built like that. You ever seen those skinny dudes? They're just. Seeing this one skinny, well, I don't know why I was doing that. Just imagine they're really lengthy. They walk. Remember? What is it? Fucking the Goops or something? On South Park.
The Goobacks.
The Goobacks. The people they walk like this. But they're all straight. That's how I imagine it. This sounds bad. Like those lengthy Ethiopian guys. That's how I imagine they are. Like that. Goobacks. They used to play this basketball. I didn't know this. It was this one guy in particular. Every time we'd go to Omaha and play this from Boys Town, that's like they're rough kids, or that's like their little
Boys Town National Hotline.
Yeah, that shit. And then so they were rough kids, and there was for a couple of years there was this tall, skinny African kid. And the first time I saw him, my first impression was like, this dude's a chump. Because that's just what I thought about everybody back then. Well, and the thing, you see them and you don't see muscles, so you're not gonna think that they're strong.
No.
Nor can they jump. This guy was like some kind of freak, though.
Was it a ball?
Huh?
Was it a ball?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, so one time, I used to have like a 42, 43-inch vertical. I used to be able to jump.
Damn.
Really high.
That's solid.
And then, so my thing was always, you know how LeBron does that chase down block? That was always my favorite thing. And so I see this guy, he's taking off, right? He's like 6'6", but I'm like, he's a twig. Never seen him play before. In my mind, swat shit out of it. I didn't know that he could jump higher than me. This dude brought it back like LeBron like this. Not only did he stuff it right on my face, before his feet hit the ground, he looked at me and goes, "Take your ass home, bitch!" Like, and then we both landed like looking at each other. Right. Looked at my coach, and this is like international sign for subbing me out. Let me sit down for it. Let me sit down for a second.
Let me think about this.
Yeah, the moral of the story: never underestimate people.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, fuck! Look at Spud Webb, one of the littlest dudes ever, and he had a 5. He was like 5 foot or 5'5". Yeah,
or something
but he had like a 55-inch vertical jump or some
nuts.
shit.
Fucking nuts, dude.
It's like
just springboards for legs. And then more recently, Nate Robinson was about.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. He didn't have quite as. I mean,
Nate Robinson was fun to watch.
Yeah,
little guy, fucking pound for pound type player. Not
really,
not as
really
good as
don't
Iverson.
watch the NBA anymore.
I love basketball so much. I watch all the teams.
I've been watching
the
it.
Celtics.
I've been watching. I don't know. I had a real hard time with the adjustment of how they play the game, you know, and just the fact that like they score 130 points, like it wasn't entertaining to me.
There's no defense,
but and I guess I'm learning to enjoy it differently now. Like I don't know. I've always enjoyed growing up watching how physical it used to be. All that, like I miss watching that. I miss them. Like you used to be able to clothesline the fuck out of somebody, not even get a flagrant foul.
In 1973, there was this dude on the Celtics that fucking like cheap shotted Kareem, and then he got back up and just fucking hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, nothing happened. They don't even like.
He didn't even get ejected. I don't think.
I remember one AAU game we were playing here in Sioux Falls. We were playing at Roosevelt. This guy, he was just being a dick the whole game, just roughing me up for no reason. I mean, at one point, he literally 2-hand shoved me into the crowd, right in front of the ref. And I looked at the ref, I'm like, I'm complaining. I don't complain like that either. But I was looking, I'm like, come on, guys, are we gonna do something about this? And they just kept shrugging it off the whole time. Finally, this guy annoyed me enough. We were down under. We were on the baseline. And the thing was one of my high school teammates that I would normally play with was on the other team, because it was AAUs we played. So I kept telling my Scott, get your boy off me, dude. Like it's AAU balls. It's not that serious. Man.
Yeah.
It's just shoulder checking me, hitting like elbowing me in the face. And it's intentional. You know when you're playing hard versus when it's intentional.
Yeah.
So Scott's coming to set a screen on me. This guy 2-hand shoves me into the wall. I look at the ref, it's like, you gonna do something about this? And he just kind of went like this. I was like, fine. This guy's at the top of the key. Going like mid shot, boom, speared that motherfucker. Just hard as shit, I speared him. Coach just looked, you just hear the, oh! I just got up, started walking to the bench. Didn't even look. I mean, I got a technical foul. I didn't get ejected. I mean, any shit like that these days, where you wouldn't even be able to play the rest of the tournament. That was the first game of the tournament, dude. I was so mad. That
guy learned his fucking lesson?
Yeah, dude. He didn't guard me the rest of the week. We separated ways after that. It was like, remember how Bill Goldberg used to spear people? It felt so fucked. Because he was in mid-air, too. I was like, ah! We slid all the way past half court. Man.
What'd you learn?
The worst part was he fucking made the shot, man.
Oh,
he cashed it and the free throw. All that for nothing.
At least he stayed in for the free throw.
Made a point, though. I don't know. I'm always like, I have like anger problems, but not like how most people do. Because like my anger is that I let it sit in here until I'm angry, until I'm at that point where I'm tackling somebody. Yeah. I do that in everyday situations too, like down in Texas, and just being a parent trying to get the grandparents to fucking stop giving him fucking bags of chips. He's 100 pounds. He doesn't need a whole bag of chips. I'm having these like conversations. This one specifically, like with my dad, in the way that he's just like, just because he can eat a whole pizza doesn't mean he needs to. He's 6,
right?
Like we all see that it's not. We all know it's not good for him. Stop letting him do it, and then like eventually people just don't listen, so you just stop saying it. But you're still getting angry about it,
Mm-hmm.
And then one day we were just at the pool, and over the most minute thing, Caden was having like a meltdown. And my dad was like, oh, what do you want? You want me to go get you some chips? And I just lost my shit. I was like, fuck! Dad, fucking no! And I didn't even know there was like other people at the pool. And I was just like screaming. And like everyone was so shocked that I was so angry at that moment, you know. But for me, it wasn't. It was like 20 different.
It was a culmination.
It was I was seeing red, bro. The first thing I did, I got in my car and I backed it up into a pole.
Oh shit!
I was so yeah. Anger doesn't look good on you when I get to
I don't like being mad.
I don't either, man.
I feel even worse when I let myself get to that point and let it boil over, because then I just showed my ass to everybody, you know?
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you just make yourself look foolish. But I've also I've never, you know, and that could be something that's attributed way back to toxic masculinity. You know, especially as young boys, you're not taught to talk about your feelings. If you are, you're a pussy,
right?
Or you're weak, or men don't have feelings. We're tough, or
right?
Fuck you, bro. I've actually got a lot of feelings, you know.
And I'll still kick your ass.
Yeah, I'll kick your ass while talking about them too. Sit down and listen to me now. But I mean, it is. I've learned as I've gotten older how important it is to just have open, honest communication. If somebody's making you mad in the moment, and you don't let them know that it's upsetting to you, how the fuck are they gonna know it's upsetting you? Now, at that point, your anger is on you.
Right.
My ex says that to me all the time. You know,
probably doesn't feel good coming from her. It might feel better coming from your dad or your mom or something like that. But
right. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't feel good coming from anybody, but definitely the source can be a big part of it for sure.
The person that tells you something that you don't want to hear, it always depends on who it is. You know what I mean? How you take it.
Right. That's a hard one I always have too. When so when you have enough self-awareness to know what your flaws are and what I know that how my anger and how I handle is a huge flaw of mine, or I know that I don't know, I guess sometimes I've been manipulative in the way that I treat people, and I used to be that type of person that would give something with an ulterior motive, expecting things back. And my sister's always calls me out on that type of shit, because she's the same way. She sees it in herself, so she can see it in me. But that's always been hard for me to accept criticism. I don't know. I think growing up in the environment, my brother was fucking 4.0 student, super smart academically, president of state student senate or some crazy stuff like that. And then my sister almost made the McDonald's All-American team basketball.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then here's little of me. I had to live up to that expectation, and this expectation. So my people pleasing thing that I do, is always always trying to make people happy. I always put myself on display and put myself in positions to be criticized. And I think that's why I'm so hypercritical or hypersensitive to criticism now, because I've been criticized a lot. Whether it's good or bad, I put myself in a position to be criticized, and that's a difficult position for children when our brains aren't fully developed to really be in. Because I remember one basketball game, my senior year or something like that, one of the first basketball games of the season, I scored 27 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm dope. Next LeBron James, because he was just out of high school at the time, so it's relevant. Otherwise I would have said Michael Jordan, but it was LeBron James at the time. And conversation I had with my coach was what I would expect. It's a great game, I know you can play like this now, so I expect this from you. I'm not really the reception I wanted. I kind of just wanted a pat on the back.
I kind of just wanted you to suck my dick
a little bit, bro. We won the game because of me. Okay, just tell me that, and then and that's just how coaches are. You expect that from them. My mom, who's bless her heart, always loved my mom. She always tried to do her best, but she wasn't always the most kind-hearted when it came to this. So I got that same fucking speech from my mom when I came home. All I ever wanted for my mom was to be hey, good job, I'm proud of you. Whether you suck today, whether you did really good, I'm proud of you. But it was never she always wanted to be coached too. So and that kind of hindered our relationship, because I was afraid to talk to her about it, or even just have conversation, because I'm dang, I'm always having to live up to somebody's fucking expectation. What I don't remember. I think I was 23 the first time I remember my mom ever telling me that she was proud of me.
Damn.
And no detriment to her. I know she was proud of me. I know that she loved me.
But that's the first time you hear it.
Yeah, and it didn't. I never thought about that really until somebody asked me when I was 30. And then someone also asked me a question too. They're when was the first time you remember a male figure in your life telling you that I love you? Because my dad wasn't around.
Oh, okay.
My stepdad was around, but he's not very fatherly.
Some step parents give a big shit about you. Some of them are just there.
And he does, and he's still very much. My son calls him grandpa.
Oh, okay.
We all call him dad.
Sure.
I just barely. I still am weird about that. I don't know, because he was never like a fatherly figure to me. He was just like, and even like my mom would attest to that. Like, he was just there, and he kind of helped take care of the bills, and he babysat us when we needed to. But like,
sure.
we tell each other we love each other all the time now. But I don't remember. I don't remember as a child a manly figure ever telling me that, and I wonder how much that affects me, because like I tell my friends, I tell everybody, like, if you're my dear friend, bro, like I have no shame in telling you that I love you. It doesn't have to be weird,
right?
Cole and I make it kind of weird sometimes, because like when we go out to, people look at us funny because we go out to eat and stuff all the time. Like the other day we went to Hoo Hot, and they asked like, is this going to be separate or together? I started to say separate, he started to say together, and then we had the kid with us, and she kind of looked at us like. So we go a lot of places, and like how close our friendship is, I swear to God, everybody thinks like, I don't know if it's just in our head, but I know people think that we're gay, which is whatever. I don't. But it's just so funny because like we joke about it, all the time.
But we're at for time. We're at 2:15, so let's go like another 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if we could live in a world where guy friendships could be more like girl friendships.
Yeah.
You know, like we could openly do like that without like facing criticism or judgment. Or I think our world is probably heading closer to that. But
I would like to think that a lot of us maybe have developed individual relationships like that, but like not everybody and everyone we have relationships, we're not all there with all of those people.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you said, we could probably talk about damn near anything. Me and Nolan, we could talk about anything. Like, I mean, like I've got a handful of people like that at this point in my life, and I'm proud. I'm happy with that. You know, that's cool. People that I can just have real conversations with, and not unfiltered, and not have to censor myself at all.
Open-minded, you know, that open-mindedness, that like life isn't just the way that you view it. Like, it's different from everybody's perspective. Like we might like. Cole and I specifically, and I use us as examples a lot because we're so fucking different as people, like to everything from the like type of clothes that we like. The only thing we really have in common is that we're both chefs. We both love food. That's really about it. That's really about it. I mean, we share a lot of ideas and values in life at the same, but like, you know, we're so fucking just polar opposite of people. Like, I took him to Shields the other day to get some clothes because like he doesn't have a car, so just driving around. I had nothing to do. Sure. And I'm just like looking at him. He's like, "This shirt is dope, right?" And I'm like, "No, bro, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand why you're buying that." And we disagree hard. We have hard conversations, and like sometimes they get heated, you know, and it ends up with like one of us walking away. But that's good, man. I think that's got a really healthy sign of a good sign of a healthy friendship. Or healthy, man. Being able to fucking have those conversations and not hate somebody afterwards for it. Try not to have those conversations with people on Facebook. People are wild on there. People get so and unfiltered and angry because like it's easy to be angry when like that, you know, you can't see somebody, but when you can see somebody's passion and the way that they feel about something, it's different. Well, somebody could say something on Facebook that they might get hit in the mouth for saying in real life. Oh yeah, absolutely. But well, they wouldn't say that in real life is the thing. You wouldn't have the balls to say it, and, you know, if someone's there, or even just like the misinterpretation of like the tone of the voice. Or I got into some stupid argument about the COVID vaccine on there, which wasn't my initial comment wasn't even about that. Someone was complaining that doctors were urging people to get the shot. And I'm just like, my comment simply was, why does it matter to you so much what other people are doing with their lives? Like, if you don't want to, I understand we all have an opinion, but it's just like, if somebody decides they want to get the shot, let them get the shot. Absolutely. And like, doctors are always telling people to do shit. Like, just, you know, that's all my comment was. And all of a sudden it went into this whole like anti-vaccine narrative. And all of a sudden, like, people were just straight up, I can't believe you this, and get the fuck out of here, blah, 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 you anti this. I was like, you guys just actually just go back and just read my comments, none of my original comment wasn't even about anything about. I was just like, if you guys even knew me at all, you would know that you guys are completely wrong. I was like, I don't even like the government, first of all. First of all. I mean, I was on painkillers and Adderall and Ambien all together for 3 years. For 3 years, it fucking destroyed my body.
Yeah, man.
And not only that, it left me after the doctor decided one day that I'm not gonna get them anymore. They left me in a position where of like buying them from other people, strong addiction. That shit cost me. That's 90% of the reason I got divorced. Ended up in Texas away from my kid. Like this shit's detrimental, you know. Dude, painkillers are just low grade heroin. You're talking Adderall is meth. I don't even know what Ambien is, but I know that if you take it and you don't go to sleep, some weird shit happens.
Oh yeah.
And when you combined the three of them together, it's a very dangerous concoction. Like, and my doctor, he didn't even give me Adderall for ADHD. He gave me Adderall because I told him that Ambien was helping me sleep, but I'm still tired. So he literally gave me Adderall so I could stay awake.
Oh, you might not want to play with that. That's like a high powered laser.
And so shoot it right in his eye. It's like one of those ones you can see out in like.
Yeah, hit it up there quick.
Oh yeah, these are.
It goes like 2,000 meters.
Yeah, these things are cool. But yeah, so like, not that I blame my doctor for my addiction to painkillers, but I guess I guess I kind of do. Like, I mean, it left my body addicted.
Sure.
The mental addiction was me dealing with my own shit. But yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a dangerous system, man. They're so quick to overprescribe people. I do know that nobody can be addicted to marijuana. There's always going to be negative side effects to anything when you use it in excess. You can die from drinking too much water.
Right.
You know, I still have yet to hear a report of anybody dying from marijuana.
I think that people can become personally addicted to it, but I think it's more of like a mental thing. Yeah. And then like sometimes in extreme cases, those mental things can sometimes translate to physical issues.
Right.
But it's not so much that like you do meth one time, you could be hooked. You know what I mean? Like someone could smoke weed one time in their whole life and never do it again.
But then, and it's 100% mental. I mean, your body can become physically addicted. Like my dad's been an alcoholic for 18 years. If he stops drinking, he has seizures.
Right.
Right.
Some people die.
But his mental condition is what had led him to drink in the first place. So yeah, like you said, I mean, anybody can do. You can be addicted to anything. I could easily say I turned a painkiller addiction into a workout addiction because like if I don't go to the gym, I feel wrong. You know,
sure.
You know, if it messes up it's like my mental escape. I mean, anything that allows you to escape reality, whether it's considered a healthy outlet or an unhealthy outlet, can be an addiction.
I think there are a lot of people like us that process a lot of emotions and deal with a lot of things and think about a lot of things all the time. We've got like an overactive imagination, so it's more likely that we could be seeking an escape of some sort, you know? Absolutely. So, I mean, it's real fucking easy to get into that fucking frame of mind.
My brain never stops. Like, just like thinking about the most random shit, you know, just all day, every day.
If I have a bad day at work, like, I'll come home and most days I'm fine. But sometimes if I've had a bunch of bad days at work and then I come home, I will just think about work the whole rest of the day until I go to work the next day. And that's not good because it's like,
that's a vicious
cycle. A new day. And I know that physically.
Stuck in that unhappiness, you know?
You never really have a chance to decompress, you know? And like over COVID and shit specifically, you know, like we were all, like when I was on unemployment and stuff for like a few months while we were shut down, when we were, you know, like I was at home with the wife and kid a lot. And then she was working still, and then she got put on unemployment right about the time that I got taken off. And then that she just finally, like, she couldn't find anything. She applied at over 200 fucking jobs and couldn't get it hired. She couldn't even get hired at Hy-Vee. Like, she was being told she was, like, overqualified and stuff because she had worked at a machine shop for almost 10 years. Like, she worked at the same job for a long-ass time, and, like, she just couldn't even find anything. So she started doing DoorDash and, like, she's like doing like Amazon Flex and stuff like that and making a little bit extra money on the side. Like sometimes DoorDash can pay pretty good. It all depends.
All depends. I do DoorDash. I mean, when I do it, I usually make pretty decent money.
Yeah, you just gotta know your clientele, where you want to be, what you think's gonna be hot that day. Like if it's a fucking hot day or a cold day or whatever, like certain foods might be more appealing. Cold day, someone might want soup and sandwiches, you know.
Yeah, and I mean times of the day they pay you more for dinner than they do lunch, weekends, all those little different things. I know people that do it for a full-time job and pay their bills. I can't. I mean, I like driving around and listening to music, but it's like after a few hours, it's kind of like.
So I think that would be very monotonous. Like I think it would take a certain kind of person to make that their main thing.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't do it as a main job. I mean, it's a convenience income for me right now. Like I need to make extra money beyond what my job pays for, but it's also something that allows me to, like, have my kid for a whole week at a time.
Yeah.
You know how expensive daycare is, so it's nice that I'm able to do that, and like he's chill, just sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Sometimes he comes.
That is super cool about DoorDash.
And he comes and like he'll help me. He'll come grab the food and drop it off with me at the door.
Sure.
I mean, he gets fed up with it after a while, but hey, we all gotta grind a little bit.
This is life, man. We just gotta do what we gotta do to make it, you know.
Someday I might just go win the lottery.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be beneficial. Be an easy way out. And if it came, I would welcome it. But I mean, I'm not gonna bank on it.
I would still have to do some kind of work. I mean, if I did do that, you know, I'd just open up a restaurant or something, and because I mean, I'd have to function. I couldn't. I mean, for like a year, I'd probably just play around.
I would come up with some dope ass hobbies. I would start building things. Like I would start building coffee tables and guitars and maybe like a fucking smoke shack or something out of a log cabin.
Someone built my grandpa. He's got this 6 foot tall cedar smoke shack. Looks like an outhouse. It's like the coolest thing.
Nice.
I'll have to find a picture of it. Send it to you sometime.
Hell yeah. Dude, these things get long. Like sitting here, I start yawning a lot. Like it's just sitting in one place, you know, and it's fucking it grows on you.
It's hard to sit down. I'm a very like on the go type of person. Like most of the time, I mean, for situations like this, I take my shoes off, you know. But like even at home, I just leave my shoes on because I know I'm about to go do something. But as soon as my shoes come off, you know, if you see me at home with my shoes off, my day's over.
Same.
And it's funny, you know. I think it's something some guy who I've started following on Instagram. He's got ADHD, and he started naming off these little things and that was one of the things that he does to like, I don't know, because he's got that same mindset of just like, I'll go, but the moment I stop, it doesn't matter, and sit down, like whatever time of the day it is, like I said, my day's over, bro.
Dude, that's like the shoes thing. Like if I know I have a lot of stuff to do that day, I'll put my shoes on early and start doing other things too, and then I'll wait till I'm done with all those things before I take my shoes off that day, even if my feet are hurting or whatever. Like, and once I take those shoes off after like a long day of doing stuff, they're not going back on.
Your mind goes into like, okay, it's rest time. And once you get into that, and then you put some food in your belly, you know what?
Night.
Nap sounds good. I actually took a nap before I passed out, before I came over here. It's awesome.
Oh, nice.
I wish I would have took more naps as a kid. No one ever told you were going to get old and tired like that so fast. They're like, once you're 50, you start getting tired. I'm like, 50, bro. I started getting tired at 30.
I have this theory that like a lot of us, like our age people, you know, that partied a lot when we were really young, maybe harder than some of our parents maybe did on some things. Who knows? Maybe we borrowed too much time and energy from the future.
Shit, did something. It's all caught up with me.
Dude,
now,
yeah. I feel like I'm 50 now. My knees and ankles are definitely 50. I mean, I broke my foot several times, and like you said, rolling your ankles a million times. Like
well, I mean, you've been in the rut. I mean, you work on your feet, just standing in that constant posture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard on the body.
Really is.
The knees, especially.
I'm ready for them bionic implants.
I tried to tell them. I was like, just give me, you know, remember that Pistorius guy or whatever who won the Olympics, and he's got the little springy leg thing?
Okay.
I was like, cut the bitch off and give me one of those. I saw someone recently, he was in like the Paralympics. He did long jump with those things, and he just, he jumped like 25 feet. I mean, in the real Olympics, they're jumping only 3-4 feet farther than that. Like, and it looked fun, but they said no. So they're like, we're not gonna cut off your leg, Omali.
I'm trying to get that Elon Neuralink fucking thing.
That'd be dope.
It says you could use it to fix a lot of shit in the body.
Crazy things.
Nerve pain, fucking like maybe like if you aren't having your nerves fired to your legs, it can maybe help people walk again, or like people with glaucoma or other types of like eye debilitations.
Interested to see what he's gonna continue to do in his life. I was interested to see like I want to make it to like 2075. So I want to see what the world's going to be like by then, dude.
I don't think that he's doing these things to be a good person. I think he's doing these things so people will remember him. But that's okay too, because we still need those good things.
We still need that shit, bro. Keep it on. Give me more Teslas, man. This is like, who wakes up one day, it's like, I want to fly people to space.
Fuck that Jeff Bezos and then that Richard Branson from Virgin or whatever.
Yeah.
Richard Branson's going to space on the 11th, and I think Jeff Bezos is going on the 20th.
Really?
And there's a bunch of people that started a petition to tell Bezos not to come back from space.
Fuck that guy, dude. Yeah. That guy's got so much money.
He just stepped down as CEO of Amazon today, I saw.
Did he?
Yeah. Apparently it had been in the works for a while or something like that.
I mean, probably a transition of a huge company like that, you would have to. I mean, not like he's ever need to work again in his life.
Yeah, he made all that money. Even though his wife got half, or his ex-wife got half of it, he's still plenty.
$200 billion or something.
She gave away so much of that money so far. Like,
I mean, this dude could give $1 billion to everybody in the world and still have over $100 billion.
He's ridiculous. He's got a lot of money.
What do you even do with all that money? You go to space.
I'd wipe my ass.
You go to space.
I would wipe my ass with it, and maybe light a blunt with it. That'd be cool. You know, like, oh, this $100 bill is meaningless to me. It's like a penny to you.
Less than a penny. It makes me feel really small.
But then, and a lot of times I'm also thankful that I'm not rich as fuck, because I know that I would let that go to my head.
I think it would be hard for most people not to. I mean, very rare you see those rich people that actually, like, most of those rich people give because it's a tax write-off. Right. You know, then you have like your Keanu Reeves and your Ashton Kutcher type people who actually are like good intentions. Paul Walker, may you rest in peace. Oh, man. A sad one.
We miss you, Paul.
I know.
We miss you.
I'm going to go to Fast 9 for you, though. I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not. I barely watched any of the rest of them. It's getting old, bro. It's getting real old. We got fucking John Cena in this one.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
There's this guy that goes to Great Life that looks just like him. He's even big. I always want to ask her. I want to walk up to him and just be like, I know he'll know. He'll know. I know he gets it all the time.
If you look like that, you think you probably would. I was watching. I've been watching a lot of like YouTube clips of like old wrestling videos.
I've been too lately. Well, they keep popping up on my Facebook.
Yeah, they pop up on my YouTube suggestions because I watched something with Stone Cold Steve Austin in it, and now there's just a bunch of them.
The ring masters.
Remember when Stone Cold stunned Donald Trump?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
They did some wild shit on there. Mike Tyson was on there. Remember Dennis Rodman? That was WCW though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, wrestling in general.
He was in the NWO.
Because Dennis Rodman came, and then fucking Karl Malone came and fought with the guy.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah!
He did the Diamond Cutter. I can't remember who.
That Kevin Eubanks dude who was on fucking Jay Leno or David Letterman's like band or whatever. He was like one of their guitarists or bass players or something like that. He came and fought, I remember, at one point too. Oh, wrestling was fun back in the day. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
The whole Monday Night Wars feud, the WCW WWE thing, that was so cool. D-Generation, everybody was sucking.
Suck it.
I'd still do that to some people. Suck it.
X-Pac.
If you know, you know, man. Is it interesting too, like how cheesy some of the gimmicks that they come up with? Like at one point, Kane played some like maniacal dentist or something like that. He had like 7 different characters before he was Kane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck. Glenn is his real name.
Glenn. That's not.
He's not even really the Undertaker's brother.
And Undertaker's real name is Mark. That's not scary at all. But when you even think of like way back, because the Undertaker was around since like it first became popular. You know, WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, I think he came out in the late 80s or something.
Yeah, he had the purple gloves. And you remember Paul Bearer?
Yeah.
Like how cheesy that stuff is. Like, I remember one time they put like a flashlight in the urn, and he was like nobody will. Well, as a kid, I was so brokenhearted as a kid once I found out that it wasn't. I was like, no, it's real.
I was a lot more happy as I got older when I realized it wasn't necessarily fake, but it was scripted. Like some of these dudes really get hit sometimes.
Someone said to me, it's a very violent play.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll take that. That's a very, well, because you'd think they have to, they don't have to be good actors, but they have to be able to have some acting skills.
Yes.
And then those guys are fucking athletes, man. You see some of the shit those, especially now, some of the stuff those guys and the girls that they do on there.
Yeah.
You have to, I mean, it's dangerous.
They leveled that up.
Owen Hart.
Oh yeah, I was a little kid when that happened.
What'd you find?
Ava's magic wand.
Magic wand?
You say hi to?
He's saying, he's like, you guys are done.
He's doing a rain dance. He's made it's in his blood, bro. Right. We took him to Cole and I went and cooked at some ceremony. He loved it. The music and all of that. Right.
Oh yeah, I saw some of the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, dude. We built like
that big ass grill.
Yeah, so there was nothing there. It was just ground, right? And we're like, how are we gonna cook? And so it was like an old storm drain cover and some of like those fencing posts, and we barbed wired it together.
Oh
and
shit!
There was like that random tin that fit perfectly. So it was so hot too, because it's like. And there was like 30 logs burning at a time on this thing, and then it was like 96 degrees that day.
That'll do it.
But it was super cool. It was fun. I probably didn't need to be there 2 weeks after a knee replacement. I was in so much pain. Everyone's like asking Cole, I guess, why I was so crabby, and I'm like, fucking, I'm in pain, man. I don't know. Like y'all,
a little bit worse.
Y'all see me with my knee, with my leg was like this swollen. I definitely shouldn't have been there, but I was glad I did it. It was fun, cool experience.
Yep.
But he got to get a piece of his culture.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I swear that's what it sounds like he's doing. I saw Francesca's dad make it rain once, which was super weird.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, straight up. Like we were at the powwow in Pine Ridge, and that's make this one of probably the last story, I think.
Sure.
So it was like 102 degrees out that day, and they were playing softball. Just hot shit all day. Francesca's out there. So her dad has Crazy Horse's ceremonial pipe. She is like this, however many great granddaughters of Crazy Horse.
Oh, wow.
Right. Which is like a thing in the native community that people just say that, but it's like real. I didn't believe it myself until I saw the pipe. I was like, oh fuck, that's crazy. And so like,
no pun intended.
A lot of like, and I do firmly believe in like spiritual medicine and things like that. I was joking with her one day. We were out there that day. I was just like, you should tell your dad to make it rain. And then she went over there. I'm not going to say that he made it rain, but I'm going to tell you in the next 10 minutes, this is what happened. He walked over to a stick. Okay, it's 102 degrees out. There's not a fucking cloud in the sky. There hasn't been for 3 days. Grabs stick off tree. Starts some prayer. Draws a circle. And he's chanting this prayer. And then by the end of it, he takes it and he stabs the stick in the middle of the circle, gets up, walks away. Okay, comes over, and that's like 5 minutes. Comes over, gets his duffel bag, said, hurry up, get to the truck. Okay. By the time we get to the truck, dude, full-blown fucking thunderstorm.
Jesus.
Like, wind was coming, and there was it was raining hard as shit, and I'm just sitting here like, this motherfucker really made it rain.
Holy shit, dude.
It's interesting. Yeah, a lot of interesting, like, weird spirit. We were together for almost 10 years, so I saw some really...
Well, yeah, since, like, high school, right?
Just out. Yeah, just out. I mean, she was 19. She had just graduated high school the year before, and I think I was like 2 weeks away from turning 21 when we first met. So a little bit older than her. But we were together for a long time. A lot of weird things. I'll tell you some more about some of the things that happened down there. Some things that happened, like my brother was never a believer in ghosts or anything, to the point where like I'll just say he believes in that stuff now. Yeah, interesting, crazy shit, bro. Evil things that should have been in movies.
Shit.
It's terrifying.
Fuck.
Terrifying stuff.
Well, fuck, we'll have to save that for the next episode.
Yeah, dude. We should do it again sometime for sure.
Yeah, man. I appreciate having you on.
Yeah, man.
We had a lot of good talks.
It's fun. It's always good to catch up with old friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, this was a good episode. I want to thank Devin again for being my producer and streaming this whole thing for us and running the whole little platform. And we'll be bringing this episode 8 to you real soon. Peace out.
Peace. Yeah.